Start recording. I don't have a title screen yet. Probably something I should do. That's my BRB screen. Yeah, usually, but we're right here. There was nothing we needed to do in addition to. Yeah. Yes. Nobody's in yet. You don't have to worry too much about any performative. Yes. Welcome to stream number 2 of the day. Today with guest star my husband and co-GM and co-world builder. He's unfortunately we only have the one mic, so he's gonna have to. I'm gonna have to lean back, or he's gonna have to lean forward for us to talk properly. Yeah. Well, if we do, oh well. Yeah. So Stefan wanted to be on the stream because he has a lot of ideas on the world of Galdor, and I've got to make note of them. Um, which idea do you want to start with? Do you want to just go with the plan thing, or do you want to get on here and then? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, here. Hey, Arcane! Arcane's here. Hi, Arcane. Glad to see you make it here so quick. My husband's gonna talk about his ideas about Galdor, and we're gonna be a little awkward switching back and forth because I don't have like a mic yet. We'll work on that. But he's got ideas. He's gonna talk about them. Okay.
Hello, world and friends of my wifey. So, hi, I am husband. You can call me Soto, as that's typically what I have people. Oh, moving the whole desk. Oh my god. Cool, cool. Everything's fine. I will be very gentle.
Arcane is ready.
Yes. Hey!
Arcane is cool because they make maps, so
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah,
Yes!
they might have suggestions.
I will recognize some of the names because I have had the good grace of listening to Wifey's stream when she records them. VODs? I'm still learning. She's got a big heads up on me. But yeah, I'm fortunate enough to be able to listen to things on my earphones at work, which is cool. Earbuds, that's the proper term. But yeah, so as she goes on and is able to experience this sharing of information and trading of ideas and thoughts, um, I listen in. And it's great because instead of just coming home from work and saying, "Hey, babe, how'd the stream go?" I get to see the stream. And so far, it seems like she's met some wonderful people. And it's really exciting for her to be able to just commune so awesomely with people that kind of wander in and like what she's up to. So that's really exciting for me, knowing that this is becoming successful, even in a very, very small, intimate way, and that's awesome. Now, as I'm able to listen in, she has mentioned before that, yeah, it's not uncommon for us to chat back and forth when it comes to ideas in our fantasy settings because we've been DMing for each other for years, long, long time. Um, and we have experiences with playing role playing games for many years now, roughly 10 to 15 ish, something like that. And at one point, when there was a lull in us playing D&D, it being a system that's always been kind of like a comfortable pair of slippers. You know, we know it, we understand it. It's fantasy. It's the mechanics have been around long enough for us to understand how things work and how to work around them. Kitty noises. Um, she looked at me one day and said, "Hey, we haven't been able to run a game of D&D for anybody else for a while. How about we just start ourselves?" And I said, "Hell yeah," because I've been itching to play D&D at the time as well. So I started our first campaign with our first two characters together. What?
You're maxing out the
Am I maxing out the mic? Oh my goodness. Okay, so, sorry, headphone users.
mic. Yeah.
I'll go a little softer. Um, Yes, so short version, we've been communing with each other with game ideas for a very long time. Even just the two of us, single player campaigning for each other. Uh, Most of the time, it's hey, I have an idea for some characters. We have a world already built, we have a timeline already kind of managed. Let's make some characters and kind of figure out who wants to take the reins for telling that story. And typically, after telling a chapter or telling an arc, coming to the end of a story for a character or a particular journey, sometimes we just look at each other and go, "You want to take a turn?" And just kind of goes from there. It's not uncommon for us to share characters that we've designed for each other, and it's not uncommon for us to talk like them to
Oh
each
yeah,
other.
I've told Jeff about us just hopping into character. He finds the loudest
Oh
things.
my goodness, paper bag, of course, cats and bags.
Oh, okay.
All the tropes are true if you don't have a cat. Um, yeah, we'll straight up just have conversations between 3 to 4 characters, just en masse. Sometimes while we're playing, sometimes when we're not playing, and so that's the level of communication we have when it comes to uh, generating ideas for D&D. So, specifically, rolling back to me listening in on this stream, obviously, I am able to listen in and get excited over the ideas she has, and every time an idea pops up, sometimes I get my own. And typically, if I'm at work, I can kind of get away with writing on some sticky notes, and I've been able to pass them off to Annie at the end of the day or take pictures of them while I can. But during her last stream, while there was more ideas floating around this cosmology that we're trying to nail down and trying to pull threads of different elements of the greater world that she's creating to make sense and to relate to each other, I just had this chain reaction of ideas that all came together all at once while I was on the treadmill after work. I was finishing up listening to the end of her stream, and I'm doing my tread, and I'm popping along, and I'm listening. And when all of these ideas hit, I literally stopped, looked down, said, "Oh, 15 minutes, long enough." Ran over to Annie mid set of whatever you were doing at the moment, and just blasted off. Just started doing the typical pacing back and forth, getting the ideas from my brain to her. So she asked at the end of my tirade of inspiration, I, I asked her, "Does it all make sense? Do you like that?" And she's like, "Yeah. Would you consider wanting to share it on the stream?" And I went, "Yes, yes, please. That sounds awesome." I think I'm gonna. Can I turn the mic down a little bit so I don't keep
Yeah,
peeking
just
it?
let there.
Yeah, I keep.
Arcane, let us know if the levels are weird or too high, too low.
Is that better? Okay. Beep up boop up up up.
Still
Okay, good,
talking,
good, good.
talking.
No, I'm just making sure it didn't hit red. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Um, right. So, here I am. I wanted to go ahead and just pass on some thoughts actively with Annie right here with me. Um, and if more ideas come along, awesome. If you guys come up with ideas, fantastic. Uh, she's mentioned before that you tend to have this great, open, limitless mind when it comes to just raw ideas. And then sometimes the answer is just magic. My brain works well enough that when it comes to creative thought, if some part of my brain goes, yes, that makes sense, then I'm 100% behind it. And it's always a challenge when these wonderful ideas come up when I go, okay, how does it make sense? Sometimes it's just a matter of faith, letting that sense come along later as more answers are discovered. Sometimes that sense and inspiration comes along from the characters, from the players that actually interact with the game. we can do all the thinking and preparing we want before we start rolling dice, but sometimes it's another perspective that can make that loop and close off a storyline, or at least an idea where A, B, C finally connects to M, or the far off letter down that way. And yeah, so I wanted to go ahead and just pass on some thoughts that close the gap when it came to some of the more open ideas for the world building. And it's basically two main ideas that really came together when I was running along. So the first one is the cosmology. This concept of a set number of gods and their influences on this world of Galdor. Uh, Once again, reinforcing the fact that Galdor is a tree, a world in itself, this flat, kind of pancakey, semi dome shaped living entity that is large enough to be lived on. Not too distant from the idea of the world being on a turtle. Just instead of a turtle holding up this flat Earth, which again, Discworld. I haven't read Discworld. We need to read Discworld. It keeps coming up.
Coming up with ideas that are Discworld.
Right, right. Um, so instead of a turtle, there's roots connecting to a vast cosmic garden. And this one tree is a smaller reflection of a much, much, much larger cosmic tree. Names are still pending, but just kind of with placeholders of what the main concept of these elements of the cosmology are visually and physically in this universe that we're creating. So it's been mentioned many times before that Melora is our prime goddess. She didn't create all the other gods, but she is definitely the warden, the one responsible for this cosmic tree, this celestial elm or oak. Elk? Did I say elk?
Elk,
I
yeah.
said elk. I put those
Both of those
together.
together.
Excuse me. um, and this tree hangs over this vast garden with all these plots of land, and these plots of land are owned, or at least taken care of, by these prime gods that represent elements of existence. So when Annie was coming up with the good gods, cool, they all fell into place, everything sounded great. When the idea came up for the more evil, or these antithesis of these gods, it was harder to come up with because the intent of this campaign is to be super cozy. So sometimes you put a lot of thought and energy into an idea, and it takes you away from the intent of what you want to do in the first place. In this case, throwing a little bit too much evil or negativity, while usually it's a balance, we are trying to focus on the positive. Now, as ideas started coming up of these anti gods, these negative energy gods, one thing that piqued my mind was the idea that there are reflections. The classic Bahamut and Tiamat idea comes up because dragons, we love them, and having Bahamut representing his thing, Tiamat representing the opposite of his thing. Which then came into the idea that, realistically, for the sake of balance, every positive god should have a negative reflection, a dark reflection. And then she mentioned this concept of, well, the opposite of Melora could be a winter god. And then she mentioned the Raven Queen. Again, Raven Queen is a cool concept that we like to fall back on, and has always been a really neat idea. Um, so when the idea of the Raven Queen being the dark mirror of Melora, I went, huh, okay. So we keep talking about this plot, this garden, underneath this cosmic tree. And Galdor, being a sliver of this great cosmic tree, and Melora's own pet project, her own responsibility that's for her that she wants to take care of besides her responsibility to the cosmic tree. What if there's more to it? What if, just like Galdor, where we have an Overstory and an Evershade, right?
Yeah.
Yes. What if the cosmology is also like that? What if this world tree, this cosmic tree, has roots? What if this garden that Melora tends to has an opposite side? What if these plots that are tended to by these prime positive gods have plots on the other side? So, trying to visually put this together in my mind, I figured, well, okay, if we have this clock shape where there's 12 gods arranged around this plot, and they all have this sliver of plot that they claim with their own element of existence that they rule their plot in, their world, their plane in. And right in the middle of the clock is Melora with this great tree. And then just kind of off to the side is Galdor. Flip that clock over. Just like how a clock has 12 hours in a day 24 hours in a day that it represents, but there's only 12 hours on the clock. Now you go ahead and go to the upside down. Again, names pending. Um, these roots from this cosmic tree spread out just in the same reflection that the cosmic tree spreads out. The Raven Queen is the warden of the roots of the tree. The Raven Queen represents death and passing, just as much as Melora represents life and beginning. These 12 dark gods have their own slice and plot with their own plane that they represent on the other side of this garden. One side's the garden, one side's the graveyard. So, now we have a garden and a graveyard. We have a tree and its roots. The idea of the roots mingling with death still kind of works, in as much as it takes for things to decay to feed life. If if the tree represents positive an expelling of energy, a radiation of energy, then the roots would represent an absorption of energy as well, a flow, this circular pattern as we all recognize in nature. So then, if the Raven Queen is the equivalent of Melora, and if the Raven Queen is on the same page in terms of capability that Melora is intending to this tree and being this crux of life, what if the Raven Queen also wanted their own project? What if there's an anti-Galdor? What if there is a dark mirror of Galdor itself? What if that stem, that trunk of Galdor reaching the plot, now flips over and extends into these roots? And now this root system has its own plane of existence just as much as Galdor exists. This flat Earth type situation. Cool. Now we have an opposite. Now we have this balance of not only do the primary gods have dark mirrors, not only does Melora have a dark mirror, now Galdor has a dark mirror. Cool. Makes sense. There's a balance there. Inasmuch as we've come up with the idea of the veil being the separation between Overstory and Evershade, this magic, this stuff, this penumbra, might be similar to the separation between the garden and the grave. Maybe it's the same magic. Maybe it's the same principle where this garden and grave needs to be a reflection of each other. They need to mirror each other. But they're not allowed to interact with each other. And there's probably a story that can be generated, this world building story, world creation story, where there was some sort of disagreement between positive and negative. There was too much intermingling, and there now had to be a garden and a grave. These two halves cannot overlap because they are opposites, and these two halves are separated by a veil, a penumbra, whatever else we want to call it. Cool. This system, this magic, this agreement, whatever it is, that separates these plots of land makes sure that the Dark Mirror cannot influence the mirror and vice versa. But Galdor is different because Galdor was made after this agreement. The Galdor was made as this desire for Melora to tend to something that was her own instead of something that she was responsible for the good of all existence. So when Galdor was planted or grown from the roots of this cosmic tree, or however we want to install Galdor into the garden, same thing happened on the other side. It might have been by choice, it might have been an accident, it might have just been the Raven Queen's desire to go ahead and, well, if Melora can get her own little pet project, well, I want the same thing. So now this interaction between Galdor and this antithesis of Galdor pierces through this veil. And for the first time, you have a unique world with influences from the other plots of garden. And then same thing's going on over here. And because they're the same root system, they're mirrored. This side can influence this side, and this side can influence this side, vice versa. There's this exchange of energy that could potentially happen because it's bypassing this agreement of garden and grave. Cool. Now we have a little more of a reason, or at least an explanation as to why there is an Evershade. Because if there was a separation between garden and grave, then how are the dark gods influencing the Evershade? We go back to the fact that they're connected. Cool. On in the overstory, the positive gods could go ahead and influence what's happening atop of Galdor, but maybe the positive gods aren't aware of the Evershade, or maybe they can't stop it because to cut off the influence of the grave would mean upending the roots of Galdor itself. It wouldn't be able to survive in this cosmic balance of this world that was created outside of the initial agreement. They now need to exist because of each other. But because maybe it's difficult for the gods to take a peek and see what's going in the Evershade, whatever's going on under there, there's this encroachment. There's been this slow trickle of this negative energy, these negative influences, these dark influences that have now taken root in the Evershade. That's where it all came from. That's why there are these darker mirrors of existence on Galdor, not just on the other side in the grave, in this cosmic grave, but now in the garden as well. Maybe that's what the veil is for. Maybe the veil is there to help separate the fact that this encroachment was coming along and things are super wibbly wobbly and weird because it still allows Galdor as a tree to live. That there's still life flourishing atop of Galdor because there is this separation of healing water. Maybe the veil has this aquatic element to it. That's why there are seas in the first place, because the seas themselves is part of the veil and has to do with the magic of keeping them separated, the negative from the positive. Um, Yeah, so there's a little more structure and reason to why there's not just an overstory and an undershade, but because there's an entire flipped cosmology beneath the garden itself. All of that happened within the span of like 2 minutes in my brain. Running on the treadmill. And I went, oh my goodness, this is finally my influence to try to draw something, hopefully. I have not done that yet. Um, Annie has wonderfully given me the credit of having an artistic streak. Um, eh, a little bit. um, when it comes to just freehand sketching, it's not my strength. But as an exercise, maybe I could try to generate something or use the tools that we have. Incarnate, heck, even just MS Paint, maybe. I don't know. We don't have tablets or styluses to really get to the finer details in, but maybe that's something that can be generated later on as this visualization because it was able to go ahead and generate in my brain. Now it's just a matter of transferring that over to a physical medium or digital medium. So that's basically big idea number one. This restructuring, or at least this cementing of the cosmology, continuing on with this circular plot of garden having a bottom side, a cosmic grave in the exact same shape and structure as this cosmic garden. Again, yet unnamed. Again, these dark mirrors of every positive god having a negative god, their own plane of existence beneath. Melora being the caretaker of the cosmic tree and wanting her own side project, generating Galdor, which now has been reflected upon in the grave, cosmic grave, and this encroachment up on the tree itself. What I like about the idea, besides it being this full circle balance, is that even though we are looking for a cozy campaign, if maybe later on down the line we want to go ahead and turn up that dial of intrigue or danger or word for
Apocalyptic epic saga.
sure this
I don't know.
tension, this worldwide tension that only the gods are privy to, that the players eventually run into in much higher levels. It's there. It is definitely available. And for these lower levels right now, with the intent of this cozy campaign, right now everything's fine. Everything's cool. Galdor's doing great. Everything is cozy. Everything is wonderful. Topside, while maybe down below things are a little spicier and darker. Idea one. Yes? Cool? Alright. Idea two. In relation to all of this structuring of the world, and the structuring of the cosmology and the universe that all of this is in, another idea kind of came into play when Annie had told everyone the idea that one of their characters has a Fey influence. That they have a warlock pact with this concept of Puck from Midsummer's Night Dream. It's tough to say.
Yeah, Midsummer Night's Dream.
That
That's the one.
did I say that?
Close.
Cool. I'll take it. Um, so going on this idea of this warlock pact, I know that typically warlock pacts are agreements with not gods, cleric and paladin domain, but other cosmic entities of great power that could share that power. Whether it is an eldritch god, or demonic pacts, or even celestial pacts, which is a really cool addition. The idea of befriending a Pegasus or a Deva, like that's really neat. We now had a situation where we're going, do we have a Fey god? Do we have a Fey plane? Do we actually have a Fey wild? We've always loved the concept of the Feywild. We play with that idea often. In this old school, classic Northern European tale of cautionary tales of magic and extraplanar beings and getting whisked off to different worlds. It's always been enticing. Always felt right to explore that in D&D. Asher makes a rare appearance, our little void. Um, and then with this concept of the Feywild being a plane of existence, we didn't have a god set up for that. I don't think. I think it popped up kind of in discussion and wasn't answered because ideally Molora would kind of fit the bill, this goddess of nature. But she already has a job. She already has a plane, Galdor itself. So who fits into the Feywild? Who fits into being the warden, the caretaker of this plane of existence? Which of the 12 plots of land does the Feywild exist in? Didn't really have an answer. Thinking more in on the concept of the Feywild in classic D&D, we understand the Feywild is a mirror of the material plane. This existence of more. It is the material plane plus plus. It is everything in the material plane stretching the boundaries of creativity and physics and energy and life and living in this extreme, in this excess. Interesting. The Feywild as a reflection of the material plane is different from other planes of existence in the D&D cosmology. Okay, cool. Same thing with the Shadowfell. Again, a reflection of the material plane. Galdor being our version of the material plane that our characters are running around in. Again, we have a plane of existence that is outside these planes of existence. I said that twice. Excuse me. um, so then we have Feywild, Material Plane, Shadowfell, all kind of the same, or at least very closely related. What if Galdor had that? Okay. What if Galdor had a Feywild? Neat. How do we do that? Answer came up. Melora wanted Galdor. She wanted it so bad. She wanted to create life, a place for life to flourish. And she did. The only way she knew how, by making another tree. This tree being a world in itself. Then she realized that just having a planetoid, flat planet, plane, just exist on its own, nothing was going on. It was so vast to this concept of mortal life with all these other plots of land, with all these other gods. Well, what does she fill it with? Well, she didn't want to just take a seed off the tree because most of the seeds were already accounted for. Those seeds of life can be spliced and create new strains, but she wanted something brand new. So she thought about it really, really, really hard. And she dreamed existence and life onto Galdor. This dreaming sounds like Feywild stuff, doesn't it? The first people of Galdor were the Fey. Aldarin or true Fey or all the Fey creatures that we are typically used to seeing in D&D, they were the ancients. Remember earlier we had mentioned that this concept of one of our characters knowing ancient? Sylvan. Boom. Got it. Galdor was inhabited by by Fey creatures, and therefore Galdor in itself was the Feywild for a time. Melora dreaming life into existence. And it was probably as much of a party as we expect the Feywild to be, as told and as we're recognized with now. Maybe something happened. Maybe it was getting too much for the tree itself. Maybe this exuberance of life was pulling life from Galdor as a planet. It was too much. They had to go away somewhere. They had to maybe dematerialize and go back into the dreams of Melora herself. The Feywild as it exists are the dreams of the Prime Goddess. That's where the Feywild are. That's where the Feywild is. That's where the Fey are. They're not on a plot of land in the cosmology. They are a reflection of Galdor itself within the dreams of Melora. Cool. We have we have an origin for the Feywild now, which means that if the Raven Queen does the same thing Melora does, there's a Shadowfell. She did the same thing. Those creatures within the Shadowfell, well, if Raven Queen's gonna dream, it's gonna be nightmares. Melora, inadvertently and maybe not really known by anybody, is the proprietor of Good Dreams. Raven Queen, nightmares. Maybe whatever happened down in the cosmic grave, maybe the Shadowfell didn't go away. Maybe it's still there. Maybe to sustain itself, it's still being dreamed by the Raven Queen actively. Maybe that's the encroachment. I think I just put that thread together myself. Cool. Hey! Uh, so, yeah, going back to this idea of the Feywild, the Fey themselves, plural as a people and as a concept, are now dreams. They are ethereal. They are not physically tied down to Galdor. But maybe there were still remnants of them. Maybe there's still remnants of their civilization, their lives, their imprint on Galdor. Classic Forgotten Realms setting. Now we have dungeons. Now we have lost ruins. Now we have ancient cities and secrets of maybe not a malevolent intent or a malevolent residue upon the imprint of history. It's the remnants of the Feywild left on Galdor. Probably closer to the middle. Maybe that's why one of the continents is called Arcadia. It's all coming together. um, yeah, so that moment was exciting because the minute we were able to say, "Hey, here's what we're doing in this D&D setting," and we don't know how many things we're going to lose or have to reinvent to go ahead and generate these classic adventures for a character in a D&D setting, even with the cozy blanket of having a soft campaign being the intent of this gameplay. Um, yeah, now we have Galdor with remnants of an ancient civilization, the Fae, no longer around, existing in this ethereal plane, which is the dreamscape of Melora, and another mirror of that, with the Shadowfell being generated through the dreams and imagination, or the nightmares and creative energy of the Raven Queen. And yeah, I think that's everything. That all slammed me in the head like a lightning bolt, where I'm lucky enough that I didn't just fly off the treadmill. Uh, and pretty much this rant that I provided to all of you good people, she had to experience, except I was pacing alone in a gym. So I'm pretty sure there's some camera footage out there of me going silently.
Not even a joke. That's exactly the kind of gestures that he does.
and her just like not wanting to interrupt, just yeah. um, yeah. So I guess this was the long way of recording all the thoughts, stream of consciousness. If anybody pops in and listens to these ideas, I hope they make sense. I hope it spawns some ideas for yourself. I hope that maybe there's something I'm missing and you get to interact with and plug some holes in. Um, Sometimes when creating something really, really big and creating a story, it's easy to look over the holes in that story that you're generating. And in the same way, Annie opens up this forum of, hey, ask me a question and I'll give you an answer. I'll think about it as fast as I can and provide that answer to you. But luckily, we're able to write it down and remember it. Um, Maybe I present this to you, this canvas, this tapestry of ideas, and you get to tell me how many pieces are cloth are missing and can help me fill the gaps. But yeah, so I will probably take the back seat for the rest of the stream. Maybe chip in every now and then, sketch some ideas down, just try to creatively make something physical and continue running down this path of ideas that help to continue generate this story. Yeah, cool. All right, so we're going to swap. And she's going to take the helm again. And again, if you hear cats or other random words in the background, that's me. And if I wave my hands really quick and lean in and I have something cool to say, hopefully I could throw it in there. And yeah, we will keep an eye on what you guys think as well for whoever pops up under the stream. Okay? Okay, here we go.
That's what I was afraid of. Okay, sorry. Sorry if that hurt anybody's ears. I was trying to avoid that, but the wire is very long.
And I got short legs.
I got little legs. Okay, alright, so hopefully my levels are still okay. Um, and everything. Let me just check up on some stuff and see where we're at in regards to that. Okay, that's still going. Just wanted to be sure. That can go away, that can go away. Alright. So, in the rant was useful, but now we need to note it on our little wiki not wiki. So I'm gonna start that part while he sketches and draws. Let's see. So adding a new panel for the planes under there, and I hate that this puts it all the way at the bottom like that. So there we go. Then we're gonna do Feywild. Good. And Shadowfell. Okay. And then I suppose I'll go with Celestial for the, the dwelling of the gods for now. The Celestial Garden. To represent everything. We might come up with a better name for it later, who knows. Mm. So, those are our main planes that actually kind of connect more or less in a direct way. The portals and stuff will open and represent other breaches of the other planes and the other gods and other creatures of the gods. So that we will map all that out as we go. Going back to my gods, I gotta look at my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, so I have 17 gods. I have to get it down to 12 plus Melora. Uh, so we've got Melora. She's obviously staying. Okay. Mistra is obviously staying for story reasons. Um, let's see. Bahamut is staying. Gond is staying just because I like having someone like that. So if we want, I can get rid of Helm, I suppose. Uh, let's see. I think I can get rid of Walkeen. Let's. We could probably put that under Tamora. And I'm gonna keep Tamora as good fortune because I might have to give Tamora her opposite, which I believe in the pantheon is Bathsheba or Bathsheba, which is the goddess of bad fortune, basically. Um, so I have Selûne, goddess of the moon, because we've been playing Baldur's Gate, so you can imagine she's. So I suppose we could probably get rid of her. Um, yeah, because the moon is like its own. Yes.
I just had a thought.
Okay. He had another thought. Hang on.
Beep, 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 beep. Sun and Moon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think you've talked about them being separate. They're
Mm-hmm.
not their own plots.
Yeah, they're in the tree.
They're in the
Basically,
tree.
that's the
Kinda hang.
idea. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What if?
Hi, tape player. Just one moon for right now. I haven't figured out the other planetary bodies yet.
Hello.
This is my husband Stefan. If you
Hi.
just came, if you just came in.
Um. What if we have a minor god of the sun, minor god of the moon? Their assistants to Melora, and they're basically the electricians. They install the suns and moons and hang above
Okay. They
each plot.
install. I love that.
Cause the idea of like this this hanging light bulb for a sun.
Okay, so I'll have to put that in the list of lesser gods. So Lathander and Selûne will actually be lesser gods.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Okay. So there you go.
Because if
There we
they're
go.
not representing a part of existence,
Hmm.
they are a representative of the sun and moon. But
Yeah.
there's multiple suns and moons that are like in other planes of existence. Then you have these two minor gods that work with Melora, and they also kind of run maintenance on the tree by installing suns and moons.
Hmm. Maybe they were mortals that did something cool. I was just about to suggest them being like demigods that ascended, and the god was like, "I like the cut of your jib. Want to drag the sun and moon across the sky?" So yeah, like Greek,
I
the
mean,
Apollo, and I don't remember who does the night off the top of my head, but yeah, Apollo
was there
is
somebody responsible for the moon?
for like pulling the night across the sky is what they did, not necessarily just the moon. It was the whole of the night and day, basically.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Um, at least as far as I remember.
Yeah,
Um,
wiki that.
so yeah, we could come up with some backstory. Like again, that's gonna come again with the lesser gods of like anybody that ascended into godhood, demigodhood, are going to be considered lesser gods of smaller aspects rather than these big, overarching ideas, and maybe they're like you said, servants to the particular god in which the umbrella covers, basically. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to get rid of the goddess of the. Well, I've got music and daylight. That's specific. That sounds like a minor god. So Lune can go away in the over gods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have one extra one. Let's see.
Farmers and home sounds like a minor god.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like folk tradition and family tradition, really. There's good fortune magic. But good fortune could also be considered a minor thing because it's just like one aspect of, you know. So that's the.
Yeah, we're having to go pretty broad spectrum on what these gods are responsible
Yeah,
for.
I forget who it was, but somebody. Let me see if I can bring it up in my history. Hang on. So was it Arcane? Was it you that did the big list of gods that have ever existed or something like that? It was freaking crazy. I think I still have it somewhere. Hang on. No, that wasn't it. I didn't download it, I guess. I once made a god that was of fortune, twilight, and home, since you come home and leave it during the twilight and often wish for home. Oh, that's really sweet. Oh,
That's awesome.
that's very cute. Mm. Yeah, we're gonna have to broaden the concepts of some of these.
That's a solid minor god. I would say that's
Yeah,
a really solid.
fortune, twilight, and home.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Especially
Oh
home
shit.
as a destination,
Yeah. Oh god damn it.
whereas
Close my. Hang on.
hearth can be an element separate from home, because you want to go home as a place that you rest, but hearth is now the maintenance of this place.
Hearth is, yeah. Just throw concepts together and see what sticks is my approach. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Because we have Bahamut, god of good for good dragons. Dragons are going to be a pretty significant part of the world, I think, just because we like dragons. I have Denier, god of writing and knowledge, but I guess Mistra could be considered knowledge,
I can say
magic and
that.
knowledge, because that makes sense. Wizards and all.
Yeah,
All right.
we can give Bahamut a little more responsibility too.
Yeah, I probably will. So we have good dragons. Uh,
So how many do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, we're at 12.
What Melora's in there?
Oh,
That's a 13.
you're right, you're right, you're right. Okay, my bad. Melora is on her own.
So we can bring one of them back.
Maybe, hang on. Okay, Melora's on her own thing. Alright, so. Hang on, let me see. 5E gods. I gotta find that damn. Hang on. Uh, Let me go over here with this and see if I can remember. I don't remember what day it was, is the annoying part either, that I got this.
When you were listening in on Arcane's ideas of gods.
What?
What?
Oh yeah, what we when they I don't remember if it was Arcane. I don't remember who it was, but they sent. Oh, you know what? They might have given it. Oh, okay, I think they sent it to my Instagram. That's what it was. Hang on. Let me go back over there here. It was Arcane. Bless you, Arcane. Okay.
Hey.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. I don't know if Arcane's still in the chat, which is totally chill. But yes, this is Arcane's work. It's like eight. It's like so many gods. There's so many.
Oh, he even has the right formatting.
Yeah, if you go to Home Brewery, they actually give you the coding to do the right
Nice.
format of it.
Wait,
Uh, I,
how many did he do?
I don't remember. I like to have at least two gods that have knowledge as a main quality, one for seeking it out and one for obfuscating it. Well, that'll be our mirror. Um, okay.
Yeah, because overall there's going to be 24.
Mhm.
12 on one half
Mm,
in the garden, 12 on the other half in the grave.
yeah.
Um, Long story short, I had a really long rant about the physical nature of Galdor as a planet being a tree and being flat and having two sides, and we basically expanded that idea to the entire cosmology of there being a garden of positive energy and then a grave of negative energy. 12 gods in the garden, 12 gods in the grave as mirrors to each other. a cosmic tree of life dominating the garden that Melora's in charge of, a cosmic root system of death
Mm-hmm.
that the Raven Queen is in charge of,
Mm-hmm.
and Galdor being a sprout of the cosmic tree, and then later to be determined an antithesis of Galdor as the roots, and that negative energy from the root system is slowly encroaching on Galdor topside. So that's why Galdor has a bright side and a dark half that has been talked about in the past.
Do they ever switch places? No. There was a long ago agreement between the two groups of gods to not mess with each other's stuff, basically. So they have their opposite mirror, but over time, the gods have found that the underneath the root system, whatever we're gonna call that, again, name pending, of various things, that is starting to encroach in weird ways ever since Melora decided to plant her little world tree. Like there's been some sort of opening or something in the root system. Something happened. Whether or not this was on purpose or an accident, we don't know. But since Melora's world tree, Galdor, was not included in the original agreement, then it's not necessarily against the rules in that very Fey kind of way. So, so yeah, that's that. They don't switch places, but they need each other. We'll
Right.
say basically, they represent two sides of all of existence in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, okay, I need. Okay, music is un. Luckily, Arcane also marked some of these as greater versus intermediate and stuff, which is cool. Um,
Greater deities.
Greater, intermediate, and there might be lesser as well.
Oh, okay. Neat.
Uh, Solinary, Reorcs. Oh, that's a dwarvish god of craft. Okay.
Yeah, and we're not having gods by race.
No.
We're just condensing everything down um, to these 26 total gods
Yeah.
that um, are recognized or by all other planes of existence. It's just that each god has their own plane that they dominate.
Mhm.
That plane operates by that god's rules.
Mhm.
Galdor is kind of this exception where there's multiple influences from what's supposed to be just 12 positive gods with some encroachment of negativity coming in from below.
Mhm.
But Galdor is unique in that there's this mishmash of influence from other planes of existence, whereas those planes of existence operate by those rules just
Right.
as much as like in classic Faerunian settings, Mechanus
Mechanus.
is a realm of pure order and clockwork. We're pretty much saying that Gond would basically run Mechanus. Everything in Mechanus works one way because that's how Gond wants it to be. And that's how he operates. And that's his plot of land. It's his right to have that form of existence. But on Galdor, there can still be people that worship Gond and practice that particular concept of existence because Galdor is not technically on any one plot of land. It
Mm.
is separate and a mixing pot.
Yeah. If you're looking for a name, Myzel is something I've used for an underworld, German for mycelium. Oh, I love a good mushroom. Ooh, I love a good mushroom.
Mushrooms are good influences for the.
I might I might take inspiration from that and like use other because I've already used a mushroom name for an NPC, Hypsozygus, and we call him Ziggy, and he's a
Oh, dang it.
help me, mushroom people.
Oh, Myconid.
Myconid, thank you. I was like, mycelium was stuck in my head, and I'm like, mycillinid? That's not right.
And
Okay.
he's, what are
Sovereign. He's a
Sovereign.
sovereign of the Myconids in a certain place in one of our games. But yeah, I might name it something like something having to do with like compost. Basically, is like what what the general idea of it is because if Melora is a big old tree and everything on the top side is growing, then it needs compost to grow from. So everything negative, it's not they're not really negative, is you know, the underside. It's just the darker side of things, the shadow side.
And it would be a cool visual for the grave, this cosmic grave, as it were, to be full of mushrooms and stuff too.
That's cool. Yeah, that's true.
So having a mushroom influence, which is already an alien, we recognize that mushrooms don't fit on the tree
Yeah,
of
no,
earthly
they
things.
don't make any sense.
Octopi and mushrooms
Mm.
are extraplanar forms of life.
And most forms of life in Australia.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Those are the hyper aggressive ones. Those are the ones that evolved into like Pokemon status.
The scary ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll think of a name of it eventually, I'm sure.
If um, Galdor had to encroach on any one plot of land because it has to be somewhere, do you think maybe it would still be attached to the tree?
Yeah, that was my idea.
Then how would it connect to the other side?
It's growing out of the tree.
Yeah, it is.
So the roots are still there.
Interesting. Okay, so probably it. You think it's like a sapling where it kind of comes up and out, or is coming straight off the trunk?
I see it as kind of like
Up and out.
yeah, kind of
Yeah.
like a little mushroom shape, how they kind of come out and then
Right. On
on the
the trunk.
trunk.
On the trunk. Okay.
That
So
was my
it's
initial idea.
okay.
If there's something better, then please.
Well, yeah, because I do like the idea of still being attached to the tree,
Hmm.
but maybe it's separate by just a little bit, and it encroaches on one plot a little, or maybe across two. Just
The positive plots, you mean?
the positive plots, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have to figure out the gods first to figure that
Sure.
out. We don't have all of them
Okay.
quite yet.
So then,
Um.
as I roughly sketch out
Hmm.
the physical representation of the garden, Galdor just kind of floating around
Yeah.
somewhere.
Um. Okay. So I think I'll do Melora, and I will change her from goddess of nature to goddess of life.
That would make sense.
That kind of just I think that will not only represent her nature aspects and everything, but that also allows her to represent fertility. That allows her to represent birth. That allows her to be your general mother god. That is understood by most mythologies in one way or another.
I get it.
Again, because we're gonna have to have wider concepts for these gods. We can't get too specific. So, Gond, god of craft. Okay. Now, Bahamut, dragon god of good, is too broad.
So now you run into
So,
justice and typically
heroes, heroics.
heroes.
I like god of heroes for Bahamut. That just makes sense for me.
That sits really well.
Heroes and bravery, I guess. Let's just
Bravery.
kind of over. It's just who you call to in the midst of a battle, kind of thing.
The glory of battle.
Yeah,
The hope of
glory of hope.
heroes. Glory.
Yeah, bravery is good. Yeah.
Heroes hope and bravery. Heroes bravery and hope.
Here, we'll just heroes, hope, and bravery. Generally speaking, again, um,
But is hope Tamora? No, that's different.
no, the fortune is
Hope is
different.
faith.
Yeah,
Fortune is luck.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
that's two different things,
Okay.
darling.
Got it.
Okay, so we have God of Craft. So he's gonna be your artificer as well. Should we do craft and alchemy? So he can be like
It's kind of the same.
the sciences? No, yeah, I guess it is. Cause alchemy can be nature based too, so he can't
Craft, innovation,
innovation.
and
I like that.
um, inspiration.
Knowledge and knowledge.
No, knowledge is
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right. And inspiration, you said?
Inspiration.
I like that.
So that the light bulb bing,
Yeah.
quite physically, its
Yeah.
little bing.
That's him
That's
showing up.
actually that's
That's
actually
gone going.
dude. That's
Hey.
a great symbol for gone.
Light
Little
bulb?
light bulb with the lights going off.
Well, if light bulbs exist, we'd do that.
Oh yeah.
Good is hard to narrow down. Bravery can be foolish or selfless or both. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's true.
And
God of madness, old definition. Is that how they used to say madness? That madness was like kind of a good thing? It was mania? It's basically mania.
Tiamat could represent that.
But
If she's supposed to be a dark mirror, because you can get really fervorous, fervent,
gosh, fervent. Yeah,
fervent.
sure. Mhm.
So
Yeah, madness used to be basically mania. Cool. All right.
all
Yeah.
right. So
So goddess of.
yeah, I think a lot of cultists of Tiamat are typically
Yeah.
kind of popping off.
Like you got something other people didn't. Sometimes it was even real. So if we have Tiamat, we actually don't need Bane, because she has conquest and he has tyranny, and those are the same goddamn thing as far as I'm concerned.
I agree.
So Bane is unneeded.
So
So
let's go in order.
okay, hang on. All right, so I'm just gonna get rid of my. Okay, so we've got the Raven Queen. She's her own thing. Uh, so she's separate.
Right. So now
So we have Bahamut, dragon god of heroes, hope, and bravery, of mania, conquest, greed, and cruelty.
are all of those opposites of heroes, hope, and
It's,
bravery?
well,
Well, I'd say conquerors instead
con-
of conquest,
conquerors.
because that's the opposite of a hero.
How do you spell conquerors? Oh God, conquer, conquer,
Help us, Red Simply One.
conqueror. How do you spell conqueror? Is that it?
It looks right.
Does it? It doesn't look right
I
to
mean,
me.
I could be
Hang
wrong.
on, this is driving me crazy. Hang on, you ever have that moment? Oh my God. Okay, I did. All right, yeah.
Hey.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, you fear for your own brain that moment. Okay.
So,
Uh,
goddess of conquerors, cruelty and mania. How about that?
okay. Yeah. Cruelty and cruelty. Double cruelty.
Mania. So,
Mania.
so heroes, hope, and bravery, conquerors, cruelty, and mania. That's cool because we have heroes and hope, and now we have conquerors and cruelty.
Yeah.
So we have this
Dungeons and Dragons. D and D and D and D and D.
Uh,
We've got a title. All right.
cool. So let's continue.
All right.
Now that we have the good ones.
So now we have a god of craft, innovation, and inspiration. So we need the opposite of that.
So destruction.
Destruction,
Well, craft is generating something.
undead, neutral magic, lies and greed, night and hatred, disease and secrecy, vengeance and fire, sea and storms. This is Eberron. Let's see. These are the sovereign hosts, and then the dark
Dark
six.
Six, Devour. These are just like
Yeah, they're called. They're all called like the blah 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 whatever. So that doesn't really fit our thing. Greyhawk, I think, is what I use
Greyhawk.
generally. Greyhawk, Grey Fox. Olivia Aaron Hansen. Okay.
greater, demigod, lesser.
These are the good guys. So we need to go down into. No, we don't.
Oh.
I was wrong. Where's the bad guys? Okay, neutral. C in business. Yar. Zerbo. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
This nerd over here.
Zerbo.
He loves the ocean and he's an accountant.
Yeah. That's a pirate.
Zerbo the accountant. The accountant pirate. Pirate
That
accountant.
sounds like a comic I would
What is
read.
that? Hold on. Rogue trader, a senescal.
A Senescal.
Pirate lawyer, basically.
Yeah, that's basically what that is. Thorazadun is or Tharizdun. Oh, I've been saying that wrong.
Wait, what? Which one?
Tharizdun. I've been saying Thorazadun, and that's not right at all.
Does it have a pronunciation? Like a...
Nope. Or the Tharizdun.
Oh, it does have a pronunciation. That's cool.
Tharisdun.
The
Yeah, I've been saying that wrong.
Thrasadune sounds like a...
Thorazadun sounds Yeah, that's what I've been calling it. Uh, okay. Lawful neutral. He's god of eternal darkness, so that's kind of getting on the Raven Queen's bit
Yeah.
on that. Uh, Ralishaz, god of ill luck and insanity. Ever changing, hideous to beautiful, male to female, but he usually appears as an oddly dressed beggar. He carries nothing but his wooden staff. His holy symbol is three sticks of bone, derived from divination and gambling tools. He rewards or punishes those that rely on chance or take great risks, seemingly at random. He is the god of insanity. Many debate whether his appearance and whims are truly random or just madness. He shuns other gods, although he does not seem to be hateful of them.
Well, that's definitely an opposite of Tamora.
Yeah, Ralishaz. That's a cool name too.
It is a cool name. I'll put a bookmark in that one.
Yep. Hang on. No, fuck
So
off.
just do like the name and then opposite Tamora, and then we can just like try to
Yeah.
yeah get the placement.
Six, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven. One, two. We put her on seven. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay. Ralishaz. Whoop. Wrong thing. There we go. Okay. God Arcane, I know you're probably not in chat anymore, but thank you so much for this.
Yeah, this is dope as hell.
Okay.
So we're back to opposite of Gone.
Yeah.
So
Wind and clouds, fire and poison, sun and healing.
craft. So okay, interesting
You
thought.
sure? Mm-hmm.
Craft typically implies um, something that can create or
Mm-hmm.
something that is created.
Yeah.
If this guy is the opposite of craft, which is typically a form of destruction, it could be warfare.
Yeah, that's true.
Or war in itself because it is nothing but destructive.
Hang on. Is this searchable? I haven't tested this.
Control F.
It should be. I already did it. There we go.
Hey,
Let's see. Goddess of Night and Hatred. Ta- Takesis.
Cassis.
Takesis. Okay. Domination, destruction of Kryn. I don't know what world this was from.
Sorry.
Oh, Dragonlance.
I heard cringe.
Cringe.
Destruction of cringe.
The people of Cringe.
Oh, this god is
She
so
destroys teenagers everywhere.
You want to get to adulthood? You gotta.
Oh,
get rid of
Vecna. Vecna in is a god of evil secrets.
I mean,
We could make him a greater god if we wanted
we
to.
may as well. We're taking big names that are easy to say and easily recognizable.
Yeah.
So the opposite of God is Vecna.
Vecna,
So,
god of destruction.
Opposite of innovation.
Uh,
Ignorance.
Stagnation.
Stagnation.
Is that good? You know what I mean. Stagnation and ignorance. I would say ignorance is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah. He would be the worst god to deal with. Oh my god.
See, well, and here's the realness about a god like that. It's, I mean, we kind of got that.
Yeah, we don't need to go into
Reality
we don't
a
need to
little-
go
no,
into
okay,
politics.
Sorry.
Uh,
What I'm saying is that it makes sense for him to exist as
Yeah.
a negative influence trying to undo Gon's work.
yeah, correct. Yes. So now we've got the opposite of love and beauty, Hanali.
So,
So we've got
you want to give her a third tier of responsibility?
oh yeah, God. Let's see, love, beauty, and marriage.
Union, companionship, uh,
Union is interesting. Partnership,
community,
community.
everybody working together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
Yeah.
pretty positive influence.
Community. Sure.
I mean, that's going to be an important element for a cozy campaign.
Yeah.
Along.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the opposite of all that, love, hatred. Let's see. I've got Yeah, that's true.
Because it's a triangle. It's either love going to hatred, but then hatred going to apathy, and them all being
That could, but
across each other.
apathy would be Vecna's domain.
Stagnation.
Stagnation. Yeah, so I'd say hatred or something a little bit more intense.
Okay.
Because if it's the opposite of, I know the opposite of love is apathy, blah, 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 but like,
Anger, anger, hatred.
yeah, I got Bane. Don't want to do that necessarily. Got, I'm not doing Ball because I don't like a god of murder. Makes no fucking sense to me.
Well, okay, that spawned from, was it Mercule,
Hmm.
who's the god of death, and then it's split into three different gods, which is why we
No,
have.
no, Mercule is one of the three, the dead three.
Okay, so then, excuse me,
It
so then
was Jurgul, one of those.
Jurgle,
Jurgul. I don't know how you say
and then
it.
became three different gods,
Hmm.
three elements of death.
Yeah, but I'm not doing that because it's dumb. Laviatar is goddess of pain. Let's see. One of the dark gods appears in her religion's art as a pale maiden dressed in white, pleated armor, carrying a bone white wand, a whip, or a scourge that she uses as a weapon against her foes. She is venerated by torturers, sadists, and other twisted and evil people and creatures, including some non-humans who love to bully other non-humans. Laviatar is aggressive, domineering, and fearless. She has a cold, calculating, cruel nature and is almost unreachable emotionally toward love, fear, or even hatred. It would have to be a miracle for any deity or mortal to make a dent in her icebound heart. She has an instinct for inflicting both physical and psychological pain, and she always seems to know what to say and the way to say it to inflict the most hurt and raise the biggest self doubts in someone, mortal or deity. I think I'm gonna go with her. That
That's
makes the most
that's
sense.
dark, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody that can undo Hanali's work would be somebody that can convince you
Hmm.
verbally, causing a lot of pain.
Yeah, goddess of let's see. So it's love, beauty, and community.
What's the opposite of beauty that's not just being ugly? Or ugliness? Uh,
Defacement.
yeah, what's another word for that? To deface, to vandalize something.
Uh, Desecrate.
Desecration?
Desecration.
Word hippo?
That's kind of all over. Yeah, I should go to Word Hippo. Word. Hello. Nope, 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 nope,
Word hippo!
nope.
We love you. We should be. Maybe one day we'll get sponsored by Word Hippo.
Dude, I would be so excited.
Sponsor!
Opposite of beauty would be concealment, right? Yeah, I guess that we could consider like shadow and something like hiding it. Sacrilege, impiety, blasphemy, irreverence. Irreverence is a good one.
Irreverence is good.
Profanity
That's kind of cool.
of like a profane goddess. So, and not
Yeah.
just profanity like fuck you, but profanity as in like fucking with
Something
something.
profane.
Yeah.
That is a word not often used.
Watch your profanity. Sorry. To me, beauty would be revealing the nature of the world, while concealment would be hiding it. That's an interest. That's a good point.
I mean, that might also still be part of it.
Yeah, profanity and
Well, that lines up with the opposite of community.
yes. So what's the word though? What's the power in VTM that Shelly has access to? Is it obfuscate? Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. So
obfuscation.
obfuscation, I guess, or shadows. But then that's Raven Queen stuff. I'm gonna say yeah, obfuscation. I know how to spell that because of VTM. Thank you.
So,
Uh,
so do we consider that word an opposite of community?
um,
Censorship.
censorship. Well, we already have ignorance.
Damn.
See, these are the problem.
Ah. Well, because censorship lines up with concealment.
Yeah, but community. you can have a community based around censorship. Let's be honest.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
We're getting real up in here, but it's true. Um,
Obfuscation is
I'd
good.
say censorship is different than ignorance. Yeah, censorship. Yes, this is true. Um, one is cause, one is effect. This is true. This is true. Um,
Let's throw both those words in there, and then we can go and dial it in because these are awesome points.
of censorship.
Censorship.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. This is again. This is the first pass, so we don't need to get everything
Yeah,
correct.
this is still version
Um.
0.001.
So I have Lithando. Who is that? Lathander in here as he's the god of birth and renewal. Do do we want something different entirely, or do we want to rename him into something?
What is Lythander usually? Is it renewal?
Yes.
Because he's like a sun god?
Yeah. Yeah.
We might have to throw that
God
one
of
around.
dawn and renewal. So those are both under the umbrella of Melora, I would say.
Yeah, that's pretty life goddess.
Yeah. So we'll get rid of Lathander. We need like another god of like light? Or is that too broad now? Cuz
I feel like even Melora hits that.
yeah. Hang on. Let's see. Let me I go up here cuz this is what is this? Forgotten Realms deities. So let's take a look at these guys. Air, sun, winter, tyranny, wizardry, misfortune, murder, writing, agriculture, lies, peace.
Oh, Shantae. Okay.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay. What was peace?
Eldath. He's a lesser god of peace. Guardian of druid groves, and her presence is felt every place where there is calm. Remember, you don't have to go with just intangible things. I always throw in God of Love, Beauty, and Turtles to keep people on their toes. Oh my god! I love the idea of turtles representing love.
I mean,
Oh my god, that's so cute. Ha!
I like turtles.
I like turtles.
But yeah, by the way, you will discover this. We are full of memes, and it's worse
That's
when we are
everybody on
together.
the internet. We're
Well,
chronically online.
that's fair. That's fair.
Turtles. We'll get into lesser gods like offshoots because those like turtles and stuff like that, like small things, will be like the lesser god offshoots that will basically be their assistants in the cosmology. So that's how we're gonna do that. But I do love
I mean,
turtles. I like turtles.
Love, Beauty, and Turtles is very.
That is an album I would listen
It's the
to.
same energy as Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots.
This is the kid friendly version.
Yes. Oh my God. Love love Beauty and
Turtles.
Turtles. I like turtles. Um.
Peace is good. Peace would be a good god to have in a cozy campaign and other
Yeah.
representations, because then you have an opposite where it's like raucousness, getting loud.
I did have a goddess of revelry, but I think I got rid of her
So let's
because
bring her back.
um, I also have Yandala, which is fertility and protection. So
Which again,
we already have that.
well, we can keep protection, and as we just put fertility in the blanket.
Yeah, but let's
Okay.
okay. I also have goddess of joy. We could put peace under hers.
I like that.
Okay, so
like
goddess
that.
of joy, peace,
And
something.
quiet. No.
Do we want
Um,
revelry under her?
Joy, peace, and peace, joy, and revelry.
Revelry. That sounds like my memoir.
Because you can have all three in different levels, I think.
Yeah.
And
Is revelry too much of the opposite of peace?
some people, that's how they find peace.
Yeah, just in being blackout drunk. um,
I mean, let's put it there for now.
joy, peace, and parties. We just made Pinkie Pie into Joy,
There's-
Peace, and Celebration.
Yeah, because Revelry is definitely really letting loose.
Yeah, I'd say
Um,
Celebration is probably
Celebration. What's another word? Um,
Joy, Peace,
uh,
and Rest. Rest
Rest
is
is good.
Joy, Peace, and okay. So we'll have somebody else have Revelry. We'll figure that out.
Well, because Revelry can be, or Celebration can be tied to events like
Hmm.
holidays.
Yeah, that's true. Um. Oh, we also have tomorrow. We could give her parties and celebration. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
getting
good
lucky.
fortunes, getting lucky, celebration, and oh god, oh god, oh yeah, I already had revelry here. Okay, we're gonna need a lot more gods actually. Whoops. Good fortune, celebration, and
What's another? Achieving a goal. Um,
success.
Success. Good word, hippo. Success.
Success.
Because like a completion of an act.
Having like luck and success in the same goddess kind of
Expedition.
achievement, triumph, victory,
Triumph and victory are all good words.
attainment,
What would expedition fall under?
expedition is
That's what tape player.
oh expedition. Oh, like yeah, that could be like people like treasure hunters and stuff. Fortune celebration and expedition. So like
Exploration.
exploration.
Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, that's totally Tamora.
That
Thank you,
was
tape player. That's awesome.
awesome.
You are correct.
I think a big part of getting things locked down in this world is going to be coming up with little phrases for things that exist.
Yeah, I've come across a couple of those already, and
every time
it
we
makes
find
a world feel a lot more alive when you have sayings that people say.
right, and then you introduce that to characters, and they fall into
Okay.
what the meaning of the phrase is, and it just makes it a little more real.
Yeah. All right. So, hang on. Yep. Okay. Then we got joy, peace, and rest, magic, knowledge, and study, and then Tamora, and okay. Yeah. All right. So I've got to find. Whoops. Nope. 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 Go back. Um. Okay. So, goddess of pain, profanity, and censorship and obfuscation. So we need the opposite of Lyra, goddess of joy, peace, and rest. Alright, so what do we've got? Let's see. Oh, no, that's not what I need. Joy, peace, and rest. The opposite of those things would be warfare, obviously. Sadness, you know. Shar could be a good one if you've played Baldur's Gate. She's pretty fucking miserable. But I'll stick away. Go away with that. Probably. Gargoth, betrayal and cruelty. That's up there. Garagos, god of war. Grumbar, watchfulness. God of watchfulness. Interesting. Oh, that's for guards and stuff, isn't it? Okay. Revenge and retribution. Joy opposite might be delirium, uncontrolled joy, in other words. That's yeah. So again, we're back to like the mania part of it, and then the depression part of it, I guess. So like uncontrolled joy, I think would still fit even under a good god, like up to a point until that joy becomes like that laughter while you murder someone. Like that's, that kind of thing. Um, maybe hatred and tyranny. Iyak. Mm. Iaktu. Yeah, this doesn't help. Zivhim. Oh my god. Greater. What the fuck? God of hatred and tyranny. That's up there, I guess. So the opposite, joy, peace, and rest. So if you think of the vibes of joy, peace, and rest, think of a day that you have all three of those and how good that feels. Now, what's the opposite of that day and what happens? I wouldn't necessarily call it delirium. It would be stress. It would be pressure. It would be a lot of that sort of thing. Um, so there she is. Does it tell me anything about who she doesn't like? In my life, it's travel with wet socks and a loose tent. Ooh, ugh, yuck. Wet socks, no thank you. Oh my god. Ugh, you just. Forest, Merkul, yeah, Mercule, or however you say it. Merkul, god of discomfort. That's where we're going. But we already have one of pain. So is that not the same as no? Because, like, oh boy, this is see these are hard. Like finding the opposites of everything. Yeah, then we have shard, darkness, and loss, which is loss can be discomfort is way worse than pain. That maybe. I mean, depends on how long either of those last. Like if you're being tortured for a week versus having to walk in wet socks for a week, I'll take the wet socks. Like if I'm completely honest. Sheres, goddess of vengeance. How is the goddess of vengeance chaotic good? Well, I guess. Huh. I didn't really like when they say it in Baldur's Gate. I didn't really look up what kind of goddess she was. So okay, interesting. Goddess of nobles. Fuck this person. Eat the rich. Who do? Why do the gods need their own goddamn CG? Chaotic good seems more like god of justice, not vengeance. Yeah, I don't. I don't. That seems. Maybe it's just worded wrong in the original text, but I would say justice is more akin to what you're doing. So we could do, I guess, Tempest. Most, although he's a robust god, a warrior's god. Also, at least call it nobility, not nobles. Yeah, like why do they like? I guess it would be easy for you to look at your family line as blessed by a god, but it seems boring to make your own. Okay, goddess of the sea. You know, I had Umberly, like, because if we have Umberly as the opposite of the goddess of joy, peace, and rest, and she's goddess of, like, chaos, the sea, secretly a god of greed. Not so secretly. Yeah, for real. Um, yeah, I don't understand the nobles getting their own goddamn god. You already have everything in life. You don't need to fucking have something extra in the celestial plane. Um, I think I kind of like the idea of Umberly being the opposite with like goddess of maybe not chaos necessarily, but not disorganization. Okay. Goddess of the opposite, goddess of change, goddess of flux, goddess of alteration. The opposite of joy would be like anger. Or would it? Uncertainty. Goddess of uncertainty. If that's not the ocean, I don't know what is. Okay, yeah, uncertainty is good. I spelled that wrong. Or did I? There you go. Yeah, yeah. No, I didn't. Hello. There we go. Oh my god. What's going on with my... Uncertainty is good. Okay, so... And the opposite of rest is work, strangely, if you want to talk about it like that. But... And it wouldn't be effort, it would be... Uh... Exertion, I get. But we can't make exertion bad. Surely, a world wouldn't... Weariness. Weariness is good. Yeah, those are two different things. The rest and weariness are very different. That is absolutely true. Rage. I'm just gonna put rage for now. Um, just because. Uh, fatigue. Hello, Azul. Wait, is this our Azul?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes.
Hi! Hi! How are you? It's good to see you in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Fatigue is good too. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go with Umberly as the opposite of the goddess of joy, peace, and rest. So Umberly is the goddess of rage, uncertainty, and weariness.
Oh, what?
Hi. Did you hear any of that? Or do I need to start over?
Half.
Half of it. Umberly is the opposite of Lyra, the goddess of joy, peace, and rest.
Oh,
And she's,
Switch.
yes, goddess of rage, uncertainty, and weariness. And if that doesn't explain sailors, I don't know what does.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's very good.
yeah.
Yeah, because in Baldur's Gate, she seemed very.
The fact that she had her own temple and she's like a neutral evil god is fascinating to me. I want to know more. I wanted more of that quest, honestly. After I got that dress, and you're just like,
I think it's one of those kind of like deal with the devil type of things.
I
It's like, we have
guess,
to go out on the sea. This is the domain of the sea. We might as well placate to her while we
yeah,
have the chance to dance. We're back on the sea.
yeah,
We're flicking our fingers off into the sunset.
yeah, basically. So I think Umberly fits that opposite vibe
I
quite
like it.
well. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Okay. Then we have Mystra, goddess of magic, knowledge, and study. Now, here's the thing. We already have Vecna, who is the god of destruction, stagnation, and ignorance. So, this is hard. This is harder than the world building like stuff. Cosmology building is way harder for me. Okay. Okay. So, god of yeah, knowledge and study. We might have to rethink Vecna, or at least the ignorance part of Vecna.
Okay, because he was. What was he being opposite of?
He was the opposite of Gond, craft, innovation, and inspiration.
Inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe inspiration isn't exactly.
Depression?
Ooh,
I mean, a god of depression is, that's
that's
really sad. It's super sad.
that's deep.
Is there another word we can use for depression?
Hi Zool, thank you for coming on the stream.
Yes, thank you so
Appreciate
much.
you.
Melancholy,
Melancholy.
despondency.
Ooh.
Melancholy. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Hello, Vecna, my old friend.
Because even melancholy isn't inherently
Oh, misery.
misery.
Misery. There we go.
There we go.
That's what it
Yeah,
is.
that's something that
Where are
saps
you?
inspiration from you. Because even melancholy is
Misery.
just kind of this sad piece. But
Despair. Despair is also good. Despair is
despair.
probably better. That sounds more like a god thing. That's good. Thank you.
You can dip into melancholy and still find inspiration out of it once you come out.
Yeah, look at Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, there we
Edgar Allan Poe's entire body of work is based on melancholy.
Yeah, so if he was praying to that god, then he couldn't technically have created anything.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a good
Cool,
point.
cool, cool. Despair is good. All right. So we have magic, knowledge, and study. So where'd they go? There we go.
You need help though?
No, I'm all right for
Okay,
now.
okay.
So the opposite of magic would be like mundanity, but that doesn't really exist in this world like as a general rule since I am doing a cozy campaign. So it would be not necessarily the opposite of magic, but the opposite of the weave or
The
what
void,
the void, the void
because if magic is a source of energy, then we need something that
that sucks
absorbs.
energy. Okay. So uh is there like a god of the
Vacuum.
void? What's the magic equivalent of a Luddite? That's a good question.
You know, I'm gonna be very vulnerable. I'm
Yeah.
not exactly sure what a luddite is.
A Luddite is somebody that's like, yeah, I was thinking void if not. Yeah. So, um,
Hey,
hi. Oh, okay. I thought you were giving me something. I
no,
saw
no,
your
no.
arm come
I'm
out.
an innocent.
Okay. Uh, I think I understand what a Luddite is, but now I'm like doubting myself now that you're questioning it.
No, I'm sorry.
uh, it's like a person that's like not in the higher echelon of society, basically. Um, here.
Workmen destroying
Yeah, it's
life-saving machinery as a protest.
yeah. So the people that
Opposed,
didn't want society to continue, that's how
opposed
it
to
started.
change.
Yeah, opposed to change,
Oh,
which goes back to stagnation.
yes.
So
Yeah. Okay.
that's Luddites and stuff like that. I thought it was someone who was anti-tech. Well, yes, you are in. You are basically yeah correct. But again, because of the way this world is going to work, that's literally like somebody in D&D in the D&D world being an atheist. like not having faith in the gods is one thing, but not believing the gods are real in a D&D world is genuinely impossible in a world where healing magic and bringing people back from the fucking dead exists.
Yeah. It's hard to explain that one off.
Yeah, so we can't necessarily have a luddite in this world in as much as the original meaning of the word is.
Which is also hilarious because in this world it's going to be
Babe,
flat.
you're
Oh,
leaning
am
on
I?
my thing.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
If
we're
that,
good.
yeah, we're fine.
Sorry.
You can
Sorry.
be anti-god but still believe in them. You have well, it's not necessarily believing in them, it's knowing that they exist.
Yeah,
There's
denying their existence is hard to do in a world where their existence is very plain.
yeah, yeah. So, right. So a void god. So which would be one like within
Again, I
the
think Vecna is usually tied in with the Orb of Destruction, which is a black hole. So we'd have to find something
something
outside of that realm.
yeah.
Did I just say Ouijab? Did I say Ouijab? Go back one.
Hmm?
Go
Oh.
Ouijaz?
Oh, did I go far? What are you looking at?
Ouijaz.
Oh,
Bottom right.
Ouijas.
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 Magic and death. Both of those things. What?
Huh.
What's like darkness? Let's take darkness as a more general term of what we're going for.
Yeah, because I don't know if D&D classically has a sponge god.
A sponge gun.
Sponge and mud
Entropy.
god.
Entropy also
And
good.
there we go. Thank you.
Let's see.
Entropy. Alright, so that's the word
For
we're
the
looking for.
entropy. I don't know if that exists. Nope,
Nope.
does not exist.
But
But good thought, and that's probably what we'll use for what we're going
write that
for.
down.
I don't have a name yet.
No.
Entropy. Um. Okay. Darkness. There is a god. Oh, that's like the. That's we're back
The
over to
shadow.
Eberron. The.
It's survival. No, protection, survival.
Sun and healing. Eternal. Oh, Tharizdun.
We're back to this guy.
Old and evil god of uncertain origin. That's the one that was in the star.
Huh?
The star.
Star.
The that I the in the Feywild in the city. That's Tharizdun.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Got it.
Uh, isn't that what Shar is? Basically, well, she's darkness and loss, I
Darkness and
guess.
loss.
Which
Yeah. I
is,
guess loss is
I don't want to have Saloon if we're not
stronger.
gonna have, Saloon. I don't want to have Shar.
Fair.
Um, Uncertain origins. He has been heard from in what? Oh, Jesus! Sorry, that was loud. How did
Yeah,
that happen?
that was the whiteboard.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. I didn't see how it happened.
It just slid off the table.
Okay. Sorry if that was loud for anybody.
I
That scared the shit out of us
am
too.
an element of chaos. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
This stream was a lot quieter before. I'm on the same level as the cats. I apologize.
If freed, it said the gods would again unite to lock him away, for he wishes no less than to unravel the fabric of the universe. The weave!
Sounds pretty
There we
intriguing to me.
go! Let's do that. God of entropy, uh, knowledge and study.
So, are we back to ignorance?
That's what I'm trying. Yeah, I guess.
The opposite is
Because
because even study, being studious,
studious is different.
Because well, doesn't it take study to gain knowledge? Aren't those kind of hand in hand?
I guess, yeah, it's just the first thing that came to my studies. The first thing that came into my mind. So knowledge and what else?
I would say knowledge and what is an act of work?
Industriousness?
Exercise. Another word for exercise. Because being industrious is like an industry, but this is more of like the journey, the path, the act of work that leads to gaining something. The process.
Uh,
Bureau of Industries bureaucracy. True. Yeah, that does kind of invoke the slowing
diligence?
diligence. Diligence.
Indefatigable. I love that word. Indefatigable. Diligence. Okay.
Diligence.
Yeah, that sounds like
Diligence.
Mistra. She was a bitch. I'm still mad at her. So basically, what every college kid needs to pray to: magic, knowledge, and diligence. I need a freaking miracle on this
That's very apt. I
test.
love that.
mm,
So now the opposite of knowledge would be ignorance, but then
ignorance.
I guess that's kind of floating up in the air. You can't be that mad they killed her like twice, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, fuck her still.
She okay. So okay,
Kill yourself.
quick tangent. Yeah,
You leave Gale alone. Gale's good.
problem solving. Go kill yourself. Ex lover is a little brutal.
She also looked vaguely like my former stepmother, so
So
like
that's two.
she wasn't nearly as hot as her like statue was. Like she looked like a mom going to the fucking like PTA meeting.
After seeing Shar,
Yeah, she fucking comes in and she's like a kaiju.
yeah,
And then this bitch shows up in fucking Lululemon,
I,
and I'm just like, I don't fucking. Who the fuck are you?
What?
They're leggings. Okay, but
Oh,
you
okay.
better be throwing Tasha under that same bus. I have not read enough about Tasha. I know some of it. I know that she's not a good person. She's not. She's not chill at all, for a variety of reasons.
What I was coming from was more of that she wasn't nearly as impressive as the portrayal that Char portrayed herself
Yeah, of
as. If
course.
she's gonna pop up as this entity of magic, then I'd like to think that she's gonna continue that.
Well, she's probably I don't have to. Char is compensating, kind of thing. I'm gonna talk to my ex-boyfriend in a shower of sparkles, and that's magic.
If Gale showed off the fact that the pleased a god, he had to become ethereal and triform as
Oh,
a
that was
means of
awesome.
pleasure,
That was awesome.
then that's what he had to aspire to meet her standards. Then she should
Also,
continue
no,
that
no,
standard.
no, no Baldur's Gate spoilers. We haven't finished. He hasn't finished it yet.
Right.
I know the end. He
Almost.
doesn't.
We're right on the cusp. We're
Yeah,
about to take down the Elder Brain.
yeah. We're about to go to the Elder Brain.
So spoilers. For anybody who hasn't gotten that far. But
I
yeah.
think they know that part.
Okay, cool.
Generally speaking.
Yeah, wasn't impressed by Mistra with all as important
No.
as she was supposed to be after seeing Char.
Yeah, she looked like a stepmom. She
Yeah.
was boring. Anyway,
Anyway,
entropy, ignorance, and the opposite of diligence is again we're back to apathy. Haven't played it either. Just have approximate knowledge of many D and things. That's also
very
I
well.
have approximate knowledge of many things.
It's BG3's good.
It's very good.
It's very good.
It's so good.
It's very fun.
I guess entropy then.
You already have entropy.
Did we? No, we didn't.
Entropy, ignorance.
No, we.
That's the first thing. There's
Oh, or
entropy.
sorry, not entropy. Sorry. Apathy. That's the word. Apathy is the word I meant, not entropy.
Well, it's more laziness.
That's what apathy is, more or less.
Inaction.
Inaction. She would have the worst followers ever because they would just be like, "Let's do it," and they'd be like, "Maybe tomorrow."
I mean, that's actually
Listlessness, idleness, sloth,
money to Pinkerton.
languor is a cool
Were the
word.
Pinkertons involved with BG3? Or the studio for BG3?
Well, I mean, it is Wizards, and they sent the Pinkertons out because of a fucking card.
I feel like we're also giving more of our influence to
Larian?
the Larian.
I mean, yeah, they did. They deserved their
Because
money, but
Larian is what made that game as good as it is.
it's true.
Wizards is just source material. So I will play that game and buy that
Yeah,
game.
but they still probably got a pretty hefty hunk of the profit.
Yeah, but that doesn't make, that's not Larian's fault.
But no,
Larian took source material. In as much as we can separate an author from their work,
they also started making this game before all that fucking shit started. So,
yeah,
and
that's
all of those people that like pre-ordered it were like, "Oh god damn it!" Like
yeah,
Langor.
let your finances go towards a development studio that deserves
Lethargy.
praise and is setting a trend for
Yeah,
other
at least they're
studios.
trying to undo that kind of toxicity within the video gaming community. So languor, slothfulness is another one. Indolence,
Enervation.
enervation is good. Drained of energy. Okay, yeah, let's do enervation. That sounds cool.
Is entropy and enervation too close?
Maybe.
Because entropy is the undoing, and enervation
Yeah.
is the absorption. So they're very
It's being
similar.
drained of energy, yeah. Okay.
Well, I mean, the enervation could replace entropy as a descriptor.
Well, entropy makes sense in regards to
magic.
the magic part, yeah.
Sure.
Entropy,
Other
ignorance.
words going back?
Magic, knowledge, and diligence. We need the opposite of diligence was...
Oh, can't we type in diligence and then scroll down to synonyms?
Yeah. Diligence.
Because I just remembered synonyms is a word and a thing. Right now.
Where's the... synonym? Synonym.
Oh, word hippo synonym find.
Diligent. Jesus Christ, I can't type today. What is wrong with me? There we go.
There we go.
No.
The word for. What's the opposite?
Wait, I said synonym. No, I need an antonym. Antonym?
Maybe it's antonym. Gosh darn it.
Yeah, antonym. Sorry.
We've been out of school for a
Long
long
time.
time.
Indifference, disregard,
Antonym. Got it.
lethargy.
Everybody watching the stream who knew what synonym was, and we're like, yeah, synonym opposite, and then they collectively
As we're-
slapped their palms.
We get dumber
We're
when we're
sorry.
together somehow. It's been a long week, okay?
This is recorded.
Yeah. I feel like that was our Matt Mercer Aurora moment.
Oh.
Where he fucked up saying Aurora. Shared brain
Aurora-
cell, yeah.
Aurora,
Aurora. And everyone for that moment, I love that clip because everyone looked concerned first before they started
Having a
laughing. They were
stroke.
just like, is Matt okay? Alright. Shared brain cell 1000%.
Yeah, we often will say that we compliment each other's brains, but there are times where there's just like a little static blip, and we just kind of both shut down.
Yeah. Just shutting down. Alright, fucking anyway, that's what we've got right now. Indolence is good, lethargy is good. We have ignorance again.
Lethargy, I think, is a good description.
Lethargy?
The opposite.
Opposite of diligence. Yeah. Lethargy. So they're gonna be like the oh god. From the Big Lebowski. The what are they called? The religious guys. That they're not narcissists, but that's the word that's stuck in my head.
Nihilists.
Nihilists. Thank you. Nihilists.
Well, they're not
They're
Russian. They're nihilists.
They're not nihilists. They're not gonna hurt you. Like that's what God got there eventually. Holy fuck.
We got there.
We got there. All right, so we have the opposite of Tamora as Ralashaz, god of ill luck and insanity.
Shaz already sounds like a backwards.
Ralashaz sounds like a name of a bad guy in a '90s cartoon. Like you
Ralashaz.
could hear that in like Captain Planet.
Oh.
Like that's
yeah.
Mr. Ralashaz.
And then
he
Captain Planet made some quip about relish or something.
just- Did he do quips? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I loved that show when I was a kid. Okay. So we have good fortune, celebration, and exploration. So I'd say, celebration and insanity are pretty opposites. Like going way too far in the celebration aspect of things.
I guess it's the same energy output.
Yeah.
For opposite
It's just for one's terrifying.
celebration is like yay. And
It's
yeah.
Yeah. And exploration.
Opposite of exploration.
What's the opposite of exploration? Aside, staying home. Introversion.
Guess what we just did?
What?
We discovered a word.
What?
Antonym.
Antonym. I.
I mean, we could rack our brains and prove to the world.
Yeah.
How narrow.
Hey, listen. I've been doing great so far. Okay, I'm also full of THC right now.
Am I making this worse?
I don't. That depends. You ask them, not me. This is what I deal with
She's
every
been doing
day.
fine without me on this stream. And what do? For 20 minutes, I take over. Let's see.
Ignorance, neglect, answer, negligence, theory, abstention.
How is an
Abstention.
answer the end? I guess it's the end of
The end of exploration.
Huh.
Opposite of the act of abstaining. Opposite of the state or practice of refraining. Interesting.
Wantonness, greediness,
Debauchery.
revelry. Yeah, it's popping back into
Yeah.
that word pattern.
I think it's hard for this to get a lot of, for exploration to have an opposite.
Well, I kind of like neglect.
Neglect?
God of neglect.
Yeah, sure.
Ill luck, insanity, and neglect.
So if you have dead houseplants, you're worshipping Ralashes.
Don't look too closely.
Shut up! They're alive! You
They're
shush.
just dormant.
They're just, listen, leaves don't last forever. It's winter. They're fine. She's green.
Because with exploration, it is actively looking
Ooh,
for
cold chill.
something.
Mm-hmm.
Neglect is knowing something's there and ignoring it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so.
So
Yeah, ignorance is just not knowing that that thing's there. Neglect is just going, meh. All
that's
right.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
Ill luck, insanity, and neglect. Huh.
yeah. Okay, so I've got Beret, goddess of farmers and home. So we could do like agriculture because that is technically separate from nature.
Going back to Tape Player's concept of um, the hearth and like destination,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could kind of maybe hop in there as well in a way. Because farmers is is a person worshiping, so
Yeah.
we could remove farmers.
Let me see what gods we have of agriculture. ROI. This is from that's Eberron. I don't know if I want to use Eberron just because I don't think I've ever have. Yeah. So yeah, Beret is one.
What was the name for the goddess of god of agriculture number one?
ROI.
Not too hard to pronounce.
Most people think ROI is the deity of fertility, crops, abundance, and plant life in general. While accurate as far as this goes, this is a limited understanding of ROA's place in the pantheon. More properly, she holds dominion over the natural world as viewed through the lens of civilization. She is usually portrayed as a half elf woman, sometimes as a halfling or human, and occasionally as a bronze dragon. She is the sister of Balinor and the Devourer, and the mother of the Fury. I'm not going to read the rest of that sentence. Jesus Christ, trigger warning. Um, let's see. Goddess of agriculture, family, and home. Depicted as brown skinned, kindly looking woman carrying a sickle, life giving soil, and. Yeah, I think I'll. Yeah, Beret. I think I'll keep Beret. Uh, Goddess of agriculture. Animal husbandry is too specific. I'm not going to worry too much about that, but there she might have an assistant that focuses on animal husbandry, like a minor god.
Sprinkling these triggers.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
I didn't even see what it was.
yeah.
Oh.
It's a story of a god that comes in at some point, generally speaking.
Alright,
Yep.
never mind.
Yeah.
Cool. Not cool.
We don't need to worry about that kind of stuff. That is literally in my Pantheon building and everything. That is literally the kind of drama I'm trying to desperately avoid. Like I don't need to read about that. I don't care. Like it's not relevant to the story. It's just gross and weird. Like
Yeah.
we don't need to know.
And we can acknowledge dark mirrors all that we want, but the place of this story is to be a hopeful one.
Yes.
And yeah, I spent 20 minutes justifying a balance to that, but that's also
Well, there's balance, and then there's going
yeah,
too far.
extremes.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's extreme and and unnecessary. Let's be fucking honest. It's unnecessary.
Agreed.
In modern stories, largely that kind of plot point is unnecessary.
Yeah, we don't need to explore that.
No. Um. Okay. Anyway,
Right. So, agriculture.
what other concepts of the world have of humanity, quote unquote?
Unfortunately, a lot of
Shock Valley. Yeah, that's yes.
not here.
Not here. I refuse.
Not
I
for
refuse
the four
any of that
people
shit.
that have chosen to trust
My
us.
soft Gen Z babies will not know any like terrible things in my game as far as I'm like you guys are going to be heroes and fight, monsters and save people. That's what you're going to do.
And come home to a nice tea.
Yeah, tie and sit and
Soft
knit
blankets.
things, and then we're gonna talk about our feelings. I don't. Yeah, no. Um. Okay. So
Okay, so okay. agriculture, cool. This is an act, a domain that they're
Civilization itself is too hard to the to that side, I
Is it
think.
though?
Lure them into a false sense of security.
We don't. No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no.
no, no.
We don't play those games.
No, we don't do that. I am not that kind. I'm too nice. You can ask anybody that's been in any of my games. I am too
A
nice.
reiteration: we DM for each other. We are not in a place where we one up or pull rugs out from under each other as a relationship rule, let alone doing so in
In D&D.
games. Sure. And then if we're trying to find like-minded people, these soft, good people, and we want to let them experience that perspective of like, hey, we want to tell a cool story. It's cool. We're not out to be the overlording gotcha DM. We're not gonna.
Luckily, they've already experienced a game of a lot of combat and sad things. They're playing two games. They're once I start playing, they'll be playing two games, and their other game is very apocalyptic and scary and sad and
Grimdark.
grimdark. So I am literally going the complete opposite of it. So it's like nothing but role play and happy Studio Ghibli vibes without the sad movies.
She doesn't put traps in my encounters.
I hate traps.
That's that's
They're
where we're at
stupid.
when it comes to our types of
That's
D&D.
literally the DM going, haha, I got you. That's why like it's better to do the click moment.
Yeah.
It's better when you step on something and you go, okay, you hear a click and everybody stops. And it's just like, fuck, what do you do? Ah! You know,
Right.
A, that's funnier.
Yes.
And B, it's more interaction, which is the point of the damn game.
Yeah, it's not just roll this dice and I'm gonna roll dice against you and now you take damage because you didn't say you were doing something or not doing something.
Dungeon of the Mad Mage did fuck you up with that.
Okay, so I will say I've two
That was so
really
funny.
really funny moments happened out of traps in Dungeon of the Bad Mage. The
I'm not
trifecta.
building. I'm not building the dungeon. I'm just reading the prompts. I'm just running it as is, pretty much. I'm changing NPCs
And
and
I've
stuff.
had 10 years of not having traps, so
Yeah.
I'm always going, check for traps, roll perception. So then the first time, can I? Who wants to tell the story?
No, you go ahead.
All right, all right.
I'm too busy laughing.
Condensing the story without going into too much back history. Our current campaign of 4 characters, mostly played by me or played by her, depending on who's running and who's playing, is going through the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Great, cool, fine. Second level. Second level,
Yeah.
we break into a dwarven brewery that had been abandoned, but there was the promise of ale on the other end. There's a sloping ramp, and there's all these descriptions that she's hitting me with, and I'm just like, yeah, cool, 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 cool. So trap 1 activates, trap door, character goes down. Character party member starts laughing their ass off, cackling endlessly. We're like, okay, fine.
Because it was her sister.
Yeah.
So, and they were bitching at each other before, so karma happened, and it was great.
So then they recover from the first trap door. Hop over it. Great, cool, fine. Continue walking down. Click.
Another
goes
character.
down. Falls 10 feet into just not a pit trap. Just just.
Well,
a
he
trap.
didn't fall. He got he hit Featherfall,
Oh,
and so
it's-
he got caught in the trap
That's
door.
right. I thought
So
it
it
was
was
gonna
like,
be clever. I was like, oh, I've got a belt of Featherfall. So
I was like,
won't
great,
hit
you
the
get
ground.
because it actually says in the description of the trap that it's a spring loaded, so it would open and then shut almost immediately. So if he casts Featherfall and he's falling very slowly, then he gets caught.
So he gets like smooshed around the pelvic region, and he's talking like a goblin because he's getting all the air squished out of him. Again, character in the back laughing their ass off even more.
Yeah,
They are horizontal on the ground.
we were almost horizontal trying to go through this whole fucking arc.
So then, and here's the cherry on top. Here's the last layer of cake. We had found a rogue character that had been petrified. We unpetrified them, made a deal with them. So the rogue, a Kenku rogue, mind you,
A Kenku, a professional who worked in the city for years and years.
as a second storymen. Like they were like a level 10 character that we
Mm-hmm.
rolled. There
Yep.
were lots of experience. Is watching the children, as it were, falling into traps, and they're going, "Wow, these idiots!" I paired up with them. Goes past the second trap, goes around, rolls perception, rolls like a 2,
Yeah.
with expertise and
Yeah,
everything.
you had like a 12 altogether, and I think the book says you need a 15. And I was just like, you don't see anything. And then he immediately starts as a player, slightly metagaming, because he's like, he's going to take a poll and push it. I'm like, no, no, no. He would be absolutely sure of his ability to check the trap and know if it's there. So that roll that shows him that nothing is there, he is taking at that value.
So this Kenku, which traditionally can't speak themselves but can mimic, where we take another step forward and we go, that's interesting, but they're crow people. They can mimic and they make crow noises because it's cute.
Yeah, I'm changing the whole backstory of Kenku because
So
it's dumb.
third trap activates and squawk
What? And he falls down.
feathers.
And players and characters are all like in that stuck moment where people are trying to help like you in a moment, but it's too funny. Like if you fall on some fucking ice and then somebody tries to help you up, but they're laughing too hard and then they fall. Like imagine that 3 times in a row. Everyone's dying.
Yeah.
We're dying. Oh my god.
The fact that
Holy
there's a
shit.
character built for dungeon exploration failed the roll to check a trap.
And he goes, "No, I got it." Fuck. Yep. Oh my god, that was so fucking funny. And I was just like, I did that partially because yes, he would absolutely have full confidence in his abilities, and B,
And then failed.
it was funny. Just because it was a 3-step fucking trap. It was so funny. Oh my god.
So that was a good moment.
And they're like, literally in the book, it's like if your players are clever, and I'm just like dying. They're like, they can use the barrels that are in this room and roll them
Because
down.
there's no other,
And
you couldn't. It was like it was flawless. You couldn't roll a check to see if it was there, right?
no, you could have.
Oh, no,
You
for-
just
for
didn't until the
receiving.
last one.
Right. Okay. But then, well, yeah, because it said in the book that you can that barrels can roll across the trap
And like
And
basically
then-
get stuck and show where
will
they are.
continue to roll.
Yeah, and then that's what it was. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, the trap would not activate if the barrel rolled over it because the idea was that they were rolling the barrels down to the end of the ramp to store them. So if you like da 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 and rolled down the barrel was like the way around it.
Yeah, but
Uh,
obviously did not
yeah.
think of that. Anyway,
We won't talk about the second trap.
it's almost never caught by passive perception. Yup. Yeah.
Forget about that.
Unless you're Zidane and you have a 20.
Oh my god. If you have a 20 in perception, then it's so unfair to the DM. Because you want to be sneaky, and you want to be cinematic, and you want to be cool.
And I'm just like, what did they roll?
And I'm just like, alright.
What's the
you
DC?
notice this, You ambiently notice this. You're allowed to roll.
I give you a magic buzzy wand that shows you secret doors.
I am very thankful. Well, you did that for you too.
Yeah, because I don't want you to miss anything. Yeah.
You know, I wave the wand around, I get 3 charges, and you're like, nope.
Yeah, I paid for the damn book. We're gonna go through every room in the goddamn book. Eventually, at some point. I paid for all these rooms.
That was a very dad thing to say.
Yeah.
We got this hotel.
It's my house. It's my Nintendo.
We're gonna use the.
I'm the video game boy. I'm the one who wins.
Yes, we're having the continental breakfast. We paid for it.
Just put it in your purse. Put more in your purse. Put the fruit in there.
They want you to take the roll.
They want you to take the rolls. Anyway, gods.
Right, we're back.
my
This is
God.
what. So this is what it's like, huh?
This is what it's like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Intrude.
Yeah, this
10
is
minutes go by.
gonna be on YouTube forever.
Forever.
Okay. Agriculture.
Oh my goodness. Stuck. We've said
This is how-
agriculture like 4 times in
Yep.
the past half an hour.
Agrarian.
Okay.
Okay. So,
3 things for this goddess to be representative of. You had mentioned civilization.
Yeah.
And
because it's too big, and that's a lot of different things that I think the opposite of agriculture is McDonald's. pink slime. Yep.
Dung.
Yuck. Ugh.
Okay, so concerning civilization, it would actually be handy for there to be a god of civilization. Because
Mhm.
then that implies that there's a plot of land in the garden that is the perfect civilization. Now, what's interesting about that is that here in Galdor, we don't have a perfect civilization. It's messy and it's warm and it's wonderful because it's not perfect. I would say a perfect civilization is like an ant hill. It is
Ugh.
that tasked for fit for purpose.
Hmm.
This is for the good of all civilization for
For the
everyone
greater
to
good.
live
So you're saying that the
greater
perfect civilization is the Tau?
as they see it.
That's not fucking canon. I'm telling on you.
Okay,
I'm
I
telling.
listen. You're the one that's
I'm
saying
gonna
that.
clip this. And I'm gonna send
No.
it to the fucking Facebook group.
I regret everything. Okay, winding back a bit. So as I was saying, no, because the Tau don't have
I got him on
divine
40k lore.
civilization.
I got him on
No,
40k lore.
we're not doing this on
We're
this
not
channel.
doing it.
I'm sorry.
This isn't a 40k
This
stream.
is not a 40k
We
stream.
might do painting streams one day. It'd be fun.
One day,
Maybe.
but not. It is
We'd
not
need like
today.
another camera
So
at
I should have
least.
said no. It's not like the Tau, but you can say the greater good. Just don't say the Tau. The Tau are not part of this world. Greater good actually makes sense as a domain of civilization because we don't want that here.
Mm-hmm.
Capitalism and like raw peak of civilization is dystopian in a way where there is a balance that is benefiting the greater good to the point to where nobody is really benefiting from it except a select few.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want this to be a cozy campaign, I would.
Well, the peak of civilization wouldn't be capitalism.
That's fair.
It would
I
be
took that the wrong way then.
it would be like the idea
Then that's the
of
opposite of civilization. Okay, okay, let's remember that for the bad guys then.
no, but the opposite of or the peak of civilization would be if communism actually worked, basically, or socialism.
Cozy communism.
Cozy communism.
Which
That sounds like a cozy game, like
Okay.
Papers, Please, but cozy.
So then, do we want to consider like solar punk, like peak of like technology and civilization?
I guess, but that's not going to be in this world.
Exactly. But again, if there's a god representing it, that means there's a plot of land that represents that peak, and there's a touch of that here in this plane, in this material plane. And the reason why I feel that's relevant to have a representation of civilization is because if we're going with the idea that Galdor was originally like the Feywild and everything was crazy and excess,
And it needed some sort of
and
organization.
that race got that whole race of people
Let's
and
get back in
life
here.
got pulled away again.
Mhm.
One of the gods in the positive pantheon said, let's take some lessons from this element."
Isn't civilization about trust? I mean, yeah, that is certainly part. Since the Feywild is like, don't trust nothing, that rock is in on it. Yeah, that's
What a good way!
that rock is in on it. It's just like he was the one that did the contract.
Amazing.
So, what if she was the goddess of agriculture and like negotiation, like contracts, but like not the shitty ones?
Do we don't okay? We already have community through Hanali,
Mm-hmm.
so now
No, but this is like business. Business? Agriculture,
Cooperation.
business, cooperation,
We're on the right path here.
community, and cooperation kind of go hand in hand as well. But like the specifics of interaction day to day.
Law, sort of.
God of polycules, yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's what we're talking about basically. Um,
Does that go into justice now? Now that Bahamut isn't kind of fairness, balance,
well, balance.
of
We
agriculture?
did already justice is kind of justice isn't yet taken
Right.
really specifically, but usually that's Bahamut. And like we could honestly we could file that under heroes. Heroes are the one that actually do justice and properly done. Again, not like our world. Uh,
Okay, so this has got to be a word that describes a collective agreement of a population.
what's the hold on. Synonym.
Again, which kind of comes back to community,
Agreement.
but this is now
Records.
contracts.
Contracts. I said contracts
What did you
and
say?
yes, that was the first thing I said.
I'm sorry.
Transactions, covenants,
Covenants is an interesting word.
legal documents or contracts between parties.
Covenants is very
Covenant.
interesting. God of lawyers.
God of Lord. Oh, that's awful. That's a demon.
But
Deeds of
if
covenant,
it's pro
compacts,
bono,
deed.
then it's not so
It's
bad.
okay.
Then
Yeah,
you want a lawyer on your side.
it's true. Oh, big
If
yawn.
you're underrepresented, you want somebody to represent you. So
Mm.
somebody that has legal knowledge is actually a positive force in at least in your favor, typically. So covenant is an interesting
Covenant.
agriculture,
Covenant.
and
Mm.
commerce. Covenants and commerce.
I guess commerce, trade.
So this is
Uh,
our Joaquin. So
yeah.
we want to throw Joaquin back in.
Well, then what would we give her for the last one? Because we could put Joaquin in again, and then have
We don't have enough gods right now.
yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. This is tough.
Yeah. This is harder than the actual like world building that I've been doing.
Is agriculture too specific?
Maybe.
I think it's too specific.
What is it? Hang on.
Because look, we have. Go back to the list. Craft, broad. Love, broad. Joy, broad. Magic, broad. Fortune, broad. Arts, broad. Agriculture, a very specific system that dictates actions for the feeding of a civilization. That's
Okay.
not broad.
What about God? What if we go back to Goddess of the Home? Because I feel like that's broad.
I can agree to that.
So home. Because like the amazing thing about like actual like world mythology is like
Bounty,
bounty is good. Bounty.
because that's not necessarily that's similar to harvest, but it's a broader concept,
Bounty. Yeah, it could be any number of things.
and that's different from Tamora,
Hmm.
because fortune and bounty could be two different things.
Yeah, having luck is not the same thing as having abundance.
Right. So bounty,
It can
abundance.
definitely overlap, but it's not always that. You can be lucky in a lot of ways without having an abundance of something.
And bounty is a nicer word than abundance because abundance kind of leads towards maybe an extreme. Bounty is just the provision.
Mm.
Abundance is more than you need.
Mm-hmm. Bounty and
Home of bounty. Because I feel like this god specifically, now that we have home and bounty, are going to be very important to the element of cozy.
yes, I wanted. That's why I wanted a god like that because of those little things. I wanted like basically like there's yes
Hige.
yeah Huga
Huge.
Huga. I'm not Scandinavian, so I'm not sure how they exactly say it, but I'm pretty sure it's Huga.
Well, what's the description of Huga? It's cozy, right?
Huga. Yeah, it's cozy.
So home, bounty, and
Um,
comfort.
and comfort.
Comfort. Goddess of
We have
comfort.
joy, peace, and rest. How is that different?
Oh, dang. Dang it. Comfort would have been good.
Yeah. Home bounty and I mean we could do family. And that could mean found family and blood family and everything outside of that.
Yeah, because family is it's indicative of something closer to community,
Yeah.
something more personal.
Yeah, that's true.
When you broaden the term out of just raw bloodline.
Right. Yeah, community is just your environs and the people in your environs. Family is the people you choose to have part of your life. Those are two different
Is
things.
there another word for family?
For family, collective,
Something personal?
household, home, menage, brood,
Oof.
clan.
Clan?
Nope.
Circle? Tribe?
Extended family. Domesticity, we could just put that. Kin and
Kin?
kin?
Kin.
Kin?
Kin.
Okay, kin. We'll do that.
Home, bounty, and kin. I can get behind that.
Okay. So the opposite of those things.
why?
That's hard.
Why is that easier to figure out?
Oh God. I don't know if it is. Insects in industry. Bralm. I'm Evan Kelp.
We see that's what I was getting. That's what I was trying to explore before the insect-like behavior.
No, yeah, I gotcha. It's like little computers.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Envy and slaughter. Jesus Christ. Okay.
How do you say that name?
Erythnul. Erythnul. Reason and intellect. Fresh water. Chivalry and valor. Heronius. He's cool.
That's pretty much got hero built into the name.
Yeah. Might have.
That's from something else, isn't it?
I think it's just an old name. Because
Heronius.
there's Felonius and like things like that.
I feel like I've heard Heronius specifically.
Potentially. You read a lot of 40k stuff, so that sounds like a name that would be in a 40k book. Maybe that's something.
Too good for that. Okay, so
uh,
opposite of home.
home.
So
Strangeness, displacement, plague and famine,
Risen.
wrath and volcanoes. Sure. Jeremy! I know that doesn't say Jeremy, but my god, do I want to say Jeremy. Jorami.
Joe.
It says Jorami!
Joe Remy.
No, it's Jorami. Jorami.
Jorami.
Jormy.
Is it Jorami?
It's Jeremy. Jeremy.
Aaron.
Aaron.
If you are the sufferer of our inside jokes,
Wait, sorry. Aaron. um, peace and reason, winter and cold, luck and competition, common
Saint
sense.
in there.
Saint Cuthbert. Yeah, common sense and zeal. He's actually a really boring god. Like literally, he was one of the ones that were like in AD&D, and it was like if you wanted to be like a Friar Tuck type of monk, that's who you followed. If you
Really?
wanted to be like a monk that actually like did monkish stuff and like took vows of celibacy and vows of poverty and things like that, that was generally Saint Cuthbert because he was
That was available as a player character?
yeah in AD&D. Yeah. Because people wanted to do like full medieval fantasy.
Actual medieval fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Goddess of Lies,
I feel like we're on
Evil
that.
Secrets. We're back to Vecna. Autumn Harvest,
We'll
Shadows.
go back to the lies one.
Cyril sounds better. Appears as a dirty, smelly old hag in tattered clothing, an illusion that covers her nondescript appearance. She's never without small lie, a dagger of venom made from an evil unicorn's horn. No!
That's not.
X to doubt, that's not a thing.
That's not how that works.
How dare you? And harsh truth, a rod of withering made from a gold dragon's crystallized soul. That's the coolest thing I've ever read.
Oh, that's metal.
And rides a great nightmare called Flame Devil. She can see through any deception or illusion, and her holy symbol is a forked tongue. Cyril avoids other deities except for Pyramus, which sounds like a part of the body, whom she partners with on many things. I'm not wrong.
I will not.
Don't. We don't need to
Go down
educate
that
the.
path.
Nope.
Nope. I just saw. Why did I forget his name? I'm terrible.
Who?
You can't see me.
Oh, John Cena.
That was not a setup. I really
This
forgot
is
his name
John
for a second.
Cena!
I just blinked. Anyway.
It's getting a little late. It's been a long week. Um.
So no one lies?
Well, I'm seeing if there's anyone else.
Torm. Oh no, that's a good guy.
God of Greed, Abathor.
Abathor. That's a good bad guy name.
The avaricious embodies the principle of greed, which is the major weakness of the dwarf. Oh, he's the dwarven god, Abathor. Okay.
Well, I mean, we can.
Vengeance and fire, pain and oppression. Okay.
I'd say for the opposite of Earth and Home, Kin. That was on the right path. Yeah.
I was hoping if I'd put a space before it, it would only, excuse me, it would only show me what says lies. Instead, it's showing allies and anything with Lies. Hidakul, lies and greed. Patron god of evil businessmen and dishonest merchants. A cunning deal maker. Hidakul trades in living souls. Some say Hidakul can even barter with Takesis and come out ahead. There's a lot of names in there. I'm good.
You were thinking about the opposite of like warm, cozy, and that could be the.
Yeah, that could be one, but Cyric, greater. God born of events of the time of troubles. He gained the followers and portfolios of many old evil gods and fights to retain them. His power base is immense, and he is one of the greater powers of evil in Faerun. The destruction of Zentil Keep, along with many of the rest of the woes of Faerun, may be laid at his feet in an attempt to further enhance his own power. Cyric created Serenishad, a book that is enchanted to bind the reader slavishly, I don't know, to believing Hansel, to believing that Cyric is the most important being in the universe, exceeding all others. Jesus Christ, this guy sucks. Cyric may be made the serious error of reading his own book and is now mad. Wow, what an idiot.
I'll get them.
Take that.
You'll get.
I
them.
love the enchanted books. Yeah, it's wow. That he read his own book. It's like Narcissist getting stuck staring at his own reflection. Narcissus.
Is it Narcissus?
Yes, it's Narcissus. Narcissus.
I trust you.
I put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable. Reading his own book and now mad, believing that he himself is the center of the universe and everything that occurs is by his direct intervention. Wow. Cyric is seldom seen in Faerun, but most often has appeared as a slim man with blazing dark eyes. Those are two different things. What does that mean? Blazing dark? What? And chalk white skin, who speaks caustically and sarcastically and acts duplicitously but with firm purpose, save when he laughs wildly or discusses possible courses of action with himself in different voices in obvious insanity. He believes himself master of all. He's a fishmolk!
Oh my.
They made a
goodness.
fishmolk into a god into D&D. Wow.
Okay.
He simply cannot comprehend that they will not instantly fall before him.
So what does this guy do again?
He
What was he supposed to
he
do?
was supposed to be a god of lies, but he fucking believed his own bullshit, basically. He's a god of believing his own bullshit. He's a god of cult leaders.
That's telling.
Yeah.
He appears as a-
Largest man failure the players have ever seen. Yeah.
Whoa.
That he looks like fucking Charles Manson.
Do
The
we want him in our game?
I don't know, man. That's a bit far.
Okay, I mean, it's funny to just have him exist
I like the idea of like one god that like they give like a patch of dirt just to get him away. like like you go play with your Tonka trucks over here, Cyric.
It's me! I'm
I'm
the Raven
I
Queen!
did. Yeah, okay. Here's your hug me jacket. you know.
Now,
The fucking god they all take shifts taking care of. They can't stand it.
that's
Jar
hilarious.
of dirt moment. 1,000%. I got a jar of dirt. Oh my
Incredible.
god. Let's go the other one. Hang on. If you want a sad wet man in your game, just reskin Disco Elysium protagonist. I haven't played that game, but I've heard it's very, very good. Also, never say sad wet man to me ever again. I don't need that in my life. I'm good. Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
If you ever need, I will say it.
There's a god of rot and decay, Moander. Moander, yeah. Rot, corruption, and decay, who has been banished from the realms on more than one occasion. Although the ranks of his faithful have never been truly large, Moander has been venerated by a variety of cults. He's a cruel and petty tyrant who enjoys tormenting lesser beings and making them destroy that which they hold most dear. Bleh. Frequently lies, particularly when such prevarications would cause great emotional distress in his victims. He seeks to control every aspect of his worshippers' lives, viewing them only as puppets. He also seeks to corrupt and destroy all who will not bow down before him. Most common form in the realms is known as the Abomination. This god thing, as its body uses a mass of rotting vegetation and carrion as large as a hill that rumbles along the ground, scouring it clean of vegetation, topsoil, and all living things, leaving it a putrid brown slime in its wake.
So,
So it's
all
Katamari Damacy.
fascinating. So, here's what I like about the concept of the character is what he represents. Physically, in this campaign, the idea of rot and decay isn't inherently evil because it's necessary to
Yes,
life.
that is
And
correct.
I would almost say that that's in the Raven Queen's domain
Yeah.
because right down to carrion birds recycling, dead things to help things get broken down and enter back into nature. I feel like that doesn't fit this guy's aesthetic, but everything else fits the concept of the opposite of the god we were just talking about.
Hello.
Thumbs. What's up, buddy? Come over here.
God of greed and murder.
Here, platform.
Come on.
Come on. Oh, he's thinking about it. He's thinking about it. He's preparing.
Might have a cat moment. 1 second. Come here. Which one? Oh, it's me. It's me. Say hi to Thumbs. Say hi. Stand up here. So look up here. Nope, he don't want to. He just wants lap.
Oh, lap time.
Okay. You're good? Okay.
Very good.
All right. Okay. But yes, what you were saying. I agree. We're not it rot is not necessarily a bad thing. It is a necessary thing in nature. Play the game. Small people or large cat. Large cat.
Large cat.
Large cat. He's big. He's big.
Well,
He's big. Big.
I am admittedly small, but this is large cat.
This is large cat. Oh, he won't let me pick him up. He's not having it right now. We are not we're not big, but we're not small either.
This guy, though.
Yeah, but still, this is a big cat.
It is. It's both. You win.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yay.
Yeah. Orange.
Orange. This is our
our
orange,
resident orange.
and he's being very weird right now. Will you just settle in, please? Thank you. Relax.
Cat ears.
Just a little bit right there. This is very good. Yeah, our little cat is elsewhere. Our more normal sized cat.
He made an appearance earlier.
Yeah, he was up here earlier.
So this guy, I think we should aim for this guy as our opposite,
Okay.
at least in name and rough concept, minus the rotten decay because that's not inherently evil.
Yeah, where did he go? Hang on, I lost him. There he is. Rocknar?
Rocknar. Sure, that's an easy one to say.
Rocknar.
Rocknar.
Nar.
Nar.
Okay. Hi. Oh no, this isn't. Hang on, no, it wasn't Rocknar. It was the other one. Hang on. Moander.
Moander.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool too.
Moander. Ow! Okay.
And also, as a
God
disclaimer,
of.
us generating these negative gods, it's there for when we need them, and we
Mm-hmm.
have an answer. There's no real plan to have these entities really show up, maybe even at all for this campaign, or not
Just
till
maybe
much, much
in
later.
theological texts, like that kind of thing. If any of the players are or the characters are curious about the world itself, they can find books like outlining this idea in
And
general.
they would be hard to find. If anything, this stuff would be locked down by the dwarves with the way they harbor knowledge.
I don't know if it would be locked down necessarily.
Maybe not
I think
locked
that I
down,
feel like this like the
guarded by.
I feel like the idea of the gods and what the world is not necessarily a hugely kept secret for any reason.
Well, the good ones.
Yeah, but then there'd be maybe the dwarves have like more of the inference of the other side. But like as far as the top side goes, they would probably
It
know.
might be a don't ask, don't tell type thing, where they're just like, yeah, cool, and then if somebody's like, is there something out there that is the opposite? And they're like, yeah, if you want to know.
Yeah, it's like if you run into a cult of one of these guys, then you're just like, I
Now,
need to do some research,
now
and
it's
then you
like,
go to the dwarves.
we need to do something heroic to stop these guys, and the
Yeah,
dwarves are like, let's go, here you go, here's the
yeah,
book you need, kind
yeah.
of thing. So yeah, us like locking down these dark mirrors
This
is,
is more for our benefit than anything.
yeah, and us creating this, we don't have to think about this later.
Yeah.
And if anything, it helps to cement the positive ones that we're really trying to showcase
Hmm.
in this game, and have the bad ones there if we need them,
Hmm.
because you're going to be procedurally generating some of the challenges later on.
Hmm.
So if we happen to roll a challenge, a bad guy, an organization, it might be a D12 roll as to whose dark influence is actually happening here, or if there's a particular positive element of existence that's under threat, it would only make sense for the opposite to be its greatest threat and therefore most likely to be the cause of the problems. Therefore, again, we at least have a list of what these bad guys represent. We have a name, we have a rough idea. It's there for whenever that actually pops up.
Right. Yeah. Yes, to what he said. All right.
So it was, so opposite of home
I put
was,
loss, but
I would say the loss is opposite of bounty.
okay.
So opposite of home could be two things. It could be exposure or it could be imprisonment.
Imprisonment is really too specific.
Well, if you're in a situation that is, you know, encroaching or stifling, that is not decidedly not homey. That is.
Slaves? God of slavery? God, I'm trying to avoid that kind
No,
of shit,
no,
though.
no, no, because that's not necessarily. You can. I mean, that's kind of a spicy statement, so I'll avoid it.
Hmm.
It would have to be a lack of home, a lack of security.
Homelessness.
Yeah, like being out on the road is more in line with.
Thieves?
That's not
That's too specific.
homeless.
No, I know. I'm just. I don't. I mean, there's opposite of home, but I don't know if they would fit a god. You know?
Well, being displaced.
Yeah, but then, like, if you're a displaced person and you need a god to worship, worshipping that god, you would worship the one that gets you a home.
You would worship the one that gives you the endurance to exist without one.
I'm
If it's
pretty
the
sure
opposite,
if somebody was displaced or unhoused, then they would go for the person that would get them a home.
yes, and if there was worship of a bad god, and they were led to believe that they are forever homeless, that there is no place for them, then they would give them the strength to be that lone wolf and endure exposure and continue to wander and be without without a home as a negative, an opposite to having a home.
If they don't have if they don't have like a community or anything, and if they're always supposed to be lone wolves, then how does this god build up followers?
Collectively, you can still have a broad net of loners because they all do their own thing as individuals, but they have a greater purpose. It was like in when Brett had all of the mages that gained energy by traveling,
Mm-hmm.
and you had this whole collection of travelers that were just literally running around, wandering, building up a charge, and then for one big burst of energy, they got together
Mm-hmm.
to perform their ritual, and then they all went bye. See you later.
I guess I'm having
Cross paths
trouble
again.
seeing this as a bad, as like a negative idea.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, if this is supposed to be a god of loss and all this other stuff, what, like, yes, being displaced is a terrible, terrible thing, but getting that strength is not a bad thing, and
Okay.
giving people strength is not a bad thing.
So I guess loneliness then.
Loneliness. Okay, I like that. Lonely,
Because
loneliness,
solitude is different from
loss.
loneliness.
Yeah, solitude you choose, generally
Yeah.
speaking,
Loneliness, loss, and
and
kin.
kin uh,
So
strangers.
ambiguity or pride, where you stand alone
No,
with what you have. No, that might be what's indicative of being solitary
aside from loneliness.
aside from loneliness. Would Hippo save us? Alright, so
So the
antonym
antonym,
for kin. Start there.
non-relative, disaffiliation, dissociation, opposition, antagonism, disunion, separation,
Distance,
dissimilarity.
remoteness. It's kind of on
So
the right path, right?
yeah,
Because
um,
this is a you can't trust anybody type of god.
paranoia,
Interesting.
a god of paranoia.
Because if kinship is trust in others, a deep personal
A deep
trust
Then paranoia would be the opposite of that.
that would drive anybody away from the intent, the good intent of those closest to you.
Yeah,
Okay.
paranoia.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I don't think we have that. We have insanity,
hmm
which is a loss of like
Paranoia is more specific.
faculty and like reason.
Yeah.
Paranoia is built through the misuse of reason through raw emotion.
I feel like, by the way, we were speaking of like unhoused people and stuff. Ralashaz would be the god of the unhoused,
Ill luck, insanity, and neglect. Okay, well I guess
of the dis the ill-treated of them,
yeah, I guess neglect would cover
which
that.
would be rare in this world, by the way.
Again, all of these elements we are gonna have minimal influence of.
Yeah.
All of these are what we don't want
Yeah.
and may come into play for the players to fight against
hmm
as an element of what is
Maybe.
maybe. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Everything above is what we're going for and what's going to be enforced. Anything below is
We're
what
just figuring out the
threatened at.
opposites. Yeah.
And again, that's not going to come around for some
Yeah.
time.
The world itself is going to have like that kind of law of hospitality.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody comes to your door asking for a meal and a room, you give it to them.
Goddess of hospitality.
Hospitality.
Oh, boom.
That's what it
A da, da,
is.
da, da, da,
We got
da.
there eventually.
Hospitality.
That's better. That's much
That's
better.
much better. Because if there's a law that is
Hmm.
universally recognized, then there's a goddess that backs it
There is
up.
definitely a god. What is his face? This boy staring
Look at
at
the
me. He's
face.
just giving me like grumpy face.
He's like, Mama, why are you
He's like,
talking so
shut
much?
up.
Both of you. I wish I could just take that camera and just zoom in on boy.
I mean, you can.
Yeah,
You just have to finagle it over here.
another day. We'll
Oh
have
yeah.
cat cam another day.
Yeah,
One
one of
day.
these days I would love a cat cam, but if they fucking stayed still long enough.
True.
Because I've got a place that they lay right there, but they never lay there when I'm streaming, of course.
I mean, we just put on a stick and chase them around the house.
Just tie it to their collar. Cat stream. Okay. My brain's fried.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think I'm good for
Okay.
tonight. We've
So,
got most
one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight.
8. Four more.
So we need four more.
Well, 8 more technically, but 4
Oh yeah,
good guys.
four more elements, and then four more dark mirrors.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Okay. Well, we got a lot done, and we got
We
a
did.
lot talked about, and you didn't get your sketch done, but I mean, you got the
I
basic.
drew a tree.
You drew a tree. You drew a tree. We're gonna work. I'm gonna see if Incarnate can't get something akin to what we're doing, or maybe something else. I don't know
Yeah,
because
some
we don't have any like digital drawing tools or anything like that really, and we got good old fashioned mouse is all we've got. No tablets or anything. So
I think it could be done because basically it's going to be
a circle cut into slices, and
right,
then just like
and then the flip.
text like indicating who's where
Hmm.
and maybe the name of the world. We'll have to look through the planes, all the planes of the general cosmology of D&D, and if one doesn't exist, we might have to make one and then do the same for the opposite. So we'll get there.
Oh goodness.
Like I said, my brain is fried. I got a kitty that wants to go to bed, probably two. We're gonna head to bed because we're old, and I'm probably not gonna do another stream this weekend. So it'll probably be Monday that I stream again, normal time at noon. And we're probably gonna talk more about world stuff as the weekend goes on. So I'll probably have a bunch to say on Monday. But yeah, if you're still around, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for your ideas. Tape player, you've been awesome. Azul, you've been awesome. Thank you so much for dropping in. Don't forget to follow if you haven't already. If you want to continue watching this world become a thing. Yes, we will have more lore. And we're gonna have to start like a crazy person wall with all of the sticky notes that he gives me after every.
I we covered most of them.
Yeah. Um,
Discord as well.
Yes, I
That's on.
do. I do have a Discord. I made one. There's nothing
Oh,
there yet, really. But hang on. I will post a. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping by, Azul. I very very much appreciate it. Hang on.
yes. Thank you very much for swinging by.
Yes. Copy. Here is a link to the Discord if you want to join it. Feel free to. There's really nothing there right now, but I'm hoping to build kind of a community based around world building and everybody talking about their either their worlds or their campaigns or their characters or their NPCs, like anything involving that kind of creative space. That's the general focus of the group in general. But yeah, we're gonna head to bed and I hope everybody has a great weekend. There's also the Instagram down below, and threads because of that. In between, if you have any ideas, please, please, please don't be afraid to let us know. We want this to grow into a complete world, and so that takes more than just one person because I'm not J.R. Tolkien.
Or two people.
Yeah, or two people for that matter. So yeah, I will talk to you guys later. I will see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Drink your water. Get to play. Hope you get to play pretend this weekend. Yeah. So have a good night. Get some rest. Bye.